Hello and welcome to Roll with Advantage. My name is Joe, and as is tradition here on now Thursdays, I am not your dungeon master. No. I bequeath that honor unto Jonathan. So let's not dally or delay any longer. Let's go ahead and roll the intro and dive right in.
I get added.
All right, and we are back. So, Jonathan, with that, I pass it over to you.
Hello. Guess what? Session 20 of Evrand. It's about to start.
Milestone.
I know. I can't believe we made it this
Final
far, and you
one.
guys are still allowing me to DM this game. It's crazy.
Thank you
Before
guys
we
for
get into the
watching
game,
finale.
this is the finale. If you've been watching since session 0.5, this is the finale.
Thanks. We'll see what we wrap up.
Probably nothing. Before we get into the game, though, Rachel, what is the look for tonight?
Yes, tonight's look is Rian.
Oh wait, here. Let me get a little thing going here.
Oh, do you have an overlay?
Kinda.
Yeah, make a Rachel's makeup overlay.
It'll be a lot more of an overlay. Right now, it's just Rachel's face on a black screen. But it's great.
Just floating in
All right.
nothingness.
Yep. There you go. All right, we'll transition back. Amazing.
Yeah. So before we get into the game, we always do a summary beforehand, and I don't do the summary because I'm too lazy to do so. So therefore, this week is Night as Vey doing the summary, session 20.
I hate doing this summary.
No, too bad.
Stresses me out. I'm
Go ahead,
sorry.
take it away.
Thanks. Appreciate
welcome.
it. Yeah, okay. Also, just having to look at all those pictures and then do this is really hard. All right, so session 20. It was actually, we did, yeah. Wait. No. Wait, so was last session? Sorry, never mind. I might have labeled that wrong. We started our night off by taking watches as per usual. Not a great fan of this. I like sleeping. It's the best part of the day. I spoke with Gak on what and how to be normal, portraits of wards on my behalf, but alas, we all think of better things to say the day after. I think he has all the capacity in the world to grow, though I wonder what possessed his parents to let him out alone knowing so little. It troubles me. Not that I'd ask about anyone's family situation, as I've learned my lesson, and then I went to sleep. And this is a night interlude. Hi. The other watches were comprised of an especially tragic conversation on Bazel and Rian's part, of them trying to contact his presumably deceased child. It was a bonding moment for the two. Gideon spoke to Yursa on his interest in Gak's book, and then they were alerted to the fact that something had happened to the two travelers that we'd met the day before on the road. When investigated, the two travelers seemed to be approaching. However, upon discovery, they seemed to be illusions and transformed into horrible demonic apes. Which is basically kind of the short of it. And then back to Vey. And then I was woken up and promptly wailed on by literal demons. It was lovely, wonderful, truly an experience for the ages. The party handled themselves admirably, though I am appreciative of the help given when I was in a tough spot. We managed to kill the creatures. I stayed behind to translate the gauntlets that these monsters were wearing, as the rest of the party went to check on the travelers. It was relayed to me that they had died together, and Bazel summoned back their spirits to marry them after a failed proposal when they were living. I guess my guess on their partnership was correct in the end. I try not to let the world bother me. People die since time immemorial, but it twists something in my chest. I don't like it, not one bit, and this is an ill omen for what is to come. And that's me.
Very well done.
Thank
Loved,
you, appreciate
loved
it.
it.
Yay!
So, we're going to jump right back into the game. It is the next morning. Everyone can take a long rest if they had not before. You can also equip all of your items that you had unequipped from the night before. Specifically, Knight, you can equip your chainmail.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. You all look out to the sun rising over the massive mountains in the distance. The shadow of the mountains casted no longer on the area in front of you. There is still that ever-present fog off the path in the woods and the ruins from left and right, and wherever you can see that the path does not go. However, it's not as thick as it was during the night. Also, you can see that the moon lilies, those fluorescent, glowing flowers that were kind of spread out throughout the land, they are not glowing anymore. It looks like they've actually kind of shut upon themselves, waiting for the next night. It is the morning, and you all can start your next day's track. I believe you have, which was going to be 5 days, is now 4. It is Elias the second, or Elysius.
Stop.
I will note that as you all are packing up and about to move, you would know that you are close to Lake Solemn, which was one of the places that Echo had mentioned about possibly dropping her off.
Right. Okay. Awesome. Awesome. Poor Echo.
But- The day is yours. Unfortunate, however, the events prior, you guys can continue down the road. Actually, before you continue, who rolled the last d6? Was it Rachel? I believe Rachel rolled.
Wasn't it Kayla? Because
I
she's the
think
reason
yeah, you asked
No,
me.
no.
She killed
No,
me.
that wasn't a roll. That was just a give me a number. I believe Rachel rolled a d6.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
I
So
thought
I
that's what
need.
Kayla was doing.
No, that was different. Let's go, Ryan. Roll me a d8.
D8 or D6?
D8.
Okay. 1.
Okay. You all
Dragon.
can.
You've killed
Exactly.
us. You've killed us, and you don't know it.
Grab the mini.
You all can start your ventures. Where is the thing? Here we go.
Oh yeah, love this art.
You all can do what you will as you are packed up.
You've
And-
said it 3 times.
Oh, I'm just saying, this is the third time there's been an awkward silence, so
Do
go
you-
ahead.
It's like, well, do you want us to say anything? You keep saying you can do anything you want. No, I think that as we're starting to head out, I think Rianne would say to the group, so for when we get to the White Crest Mountains, and I suppose, your input on this would be most useful, how should we go about trying to parlay with this individual we need to meet?
I mean, it really depends. I think, well, I mean, he'll kind of turn to Bazel and he's like, you just want information on your visions, right?
Well, I guess so. You know, the Raven Queen, she was the one who urged me to go to the White Crest Mountains, so I'm assuming they know each other? So if I refer to one of them as, hey, your friend told me to come here.
Right. Yes, no, Lady Winter and the Raven Queen, they're synonymous. They're the same person. So the
Oh.
person who presides over Winter, which is where my home is from, is the Raven Queen. So
Okay.
she's well known there. It's not strange. But
Okay.
I wish I was more help in this exactly, but I've never met this dragon.
Right, for sure. I would say most people have not. So I guess as long as we do it together, we can figure it out on our own.
Is there a way that people tend to gain an audience? Or is it just we go and we say, pretty please? Is it one of those situations? Oh no.
Like I said,
Okay.
it's very rare that anyone would go to see her necessarily. I'm assuming that you bring things that you could possibly trade for the dragon's interest, perhaps. A formal gift. But it, if she reached out in the past, it tended to be her coming to us, not the other way around.
What kind of gifts would you bring a dragon?
That
A nice
I
one.
can.
Gold?
But if I don't have gold, but like, what if? I don't know.
Like I said, this is my educated guess.
Faye,
Yeah.
make a very low DC history check.
Oh, very low DC. I'm gonna use my D.
Yeah, do it.
Okay.
Like so cool.
18.
Okay, plus what?
Uh,
I want one.
history plus 0.
So 18.
18.
All that.
So your family in particular have actually talked to this dragon before, and you know this. It is part of the kind of keeping tabs on one another kind of thing.
Right.
But there's also kind of an offering aspect. You would know that Lady Gemcloak is what is called a crystal dragon. Hold on, let me look at my notes just real quick. I want to make sure that I actually got this correct.
Also, for everyone watching, Knight has a magic 8-ball D20.
That's
When you shake it, it hits one of the corners, and it's
So
awesome.
cool.
It is pretty dope.
That makes me wonder, do you think that the thing in a magic 8-ball is a 20-sided object? Because it has the triangle that appears.
I mean, it might be like there's the triangles on both sides that are like the 8. I don't know, but
Mhm.
like, because it's like maybe, no, yes. There's like less than 20 options on there,
Right.
so
I
I'm
wonder
assuming.
if it like repeated or something. I'm not sure.
Yeah. We should crack one open and see.
Let's do it, and then drink the inside.
Then drink
like
the
a coconut
inside.
wine.
Yeah, that's what I was just about to
Like a
say.
coconut.
Oh
It's-
You all
God.
crave death.
Forbidden
What is-
snack. Just like
There we
a,
go.
like
Pop off the little window,
yeah.
put in a straw and like an umbrella, sit on the beach.
Like a coconut.
Yeah.
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 Just speaking of forbidden foods, has anybody else wanted to drink lava?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
For everyone watching, don't drink lava or magic.
Well,
PSA.
yeah, that's why it's called
eat
forbidden. Clouds. Oh my
Inside?
god.
Okay.
Eat
Okay.
clouds.
Clouds.
Cotton
Very
candy.
good. Yeah. I will
Mm.
say,
Mm.
I know this is bad because people actually did it, but Tide Pods look
They-
delicious.
They do.
Yeah.
They look so
Mhm.
good.
And
I
they
just-
smell so good.
Teeth. Nom, 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 nom.
And they
I wanna
taste
eat
so
one.
good.
They just be like gushers, you know? That like the
Yeah.
Okay, so I have the information.
Right.
Thank God. So yes, she is what's considered a crystal dragon. And normally, what you know from what is offered is not gold.
Yeah.
It's not material things. From what you've heard with your 18, it's more been offerings of great stories or possible sentimental things.
Mm.
Lady Gemcloak doesn't do gold or give me these magical items. She would much prefer, making conversation, but only if it's worth her time.
Right. Okay. All right. Yeah, they would relay as just for my edification, Jonathan. Is it Chen that's talked to her before?
Probably,
Based-
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah. So Vey would kind of explain that, a little bit of backtracking and just offer that what Jonathan said, and then he'd probably tag on. But again, I don't know her personally and hadn't planned on knowing her personally, so we'll see.
Very well. I just wanted to make sure we had all our bases covered before we got there.
Well, I'm also sure that when she hears of everything happening and well, the potential danger to not only us but her, everything around her. I don't know if she's going to have information on what's happening with the rifts at all, but that could tie in as well. I can't see her not wanting to help.
Mm-hmm.
I hope.
I guess everyone should just prepare a story so we can all tell a story. This way we all
That's a
have
good
something.
idea.
I already have one planned. Lady, the world is ending. Do you want to hear about it? Maybe you can offer some insight on the story we're about to tell you, because it's happening currently, right now.
I don't know.
I
It's
mean,
not a
to
very
me,
good.
that sounds pretty convincing.
It's not a
I
very
don't
good
think I
story
would-
though. Yeah.
No, I wouldn't want to hear that one.
Because it's
Well-
a good story has like a good beginning, middle, and end, and that one is just
So-
a beginning.
The beginning is everything is great. The middle is everything starts going bad, and the ending is everything is dead.
So
Yes, exactly.
but
And like a group of people, typically.
that's
I'm
it.
sure-
That's it, Gak. That's all you got.
Stories have a group of people. I was just. This one doesn't. It has the world, and it's a little big.
Mhm.
Well, I suppose we have enough time to think about it before we get there.
All right. Well, then I guess we should push forward. Yeah.
Let's go.
Okay. So as you all are pushing forward, everyone make a perception check.
Oh, you got it.
Oh
boo.
shit! My
Yeah,
dice
dude.
downstairs, Joseph. Could I perhaps borrow
Run.
some dice?
Yeah, you want to borrow a die?
Yes.
Ugh.
Toss me a D20, dog.
Here, I'll give you a full set. Oh fuck.
Okay. Just-
John, I got fuck 23.
I'll just roll it on here for now until you. Thanks, dog. Oh, I missed. My hand missed. Thank you.
I
Basil,
love how casual things go.
19.
Gak,
10.
Vey,
22.
This is
Gideon,
crazy.
21.
Use this. It's fine.
Yursa.
21.
God damn, guys. Holy shit.
21.
21.
There's two 21s, a 22, a 19, a 23, and a 10.
Yeah.
Thank
Mhm.
you.
All
That
of
is-
us have such high perception. Why?
It's the most
I only have
You guys
plus
are-
2. I just rolled a 19.
I just we got a plus 6, a plus 7, and a plus 8 in this group, and then Joe's is dumb.
What?
Your perception.
Oh, 20 plus 6.
Look at all of us.
Bunch of wise.
Sorry,
wise
I'm
bunch.
trying to. Where is it at? I have other things too.
We're
I
very
like to play in the
insightful group.
background. Yeah, it's really cool. Here we go.
Yeah, we are.
Our group name should be Three Wise Men, just to confuse people. Oh.
The Seekers of Insightnia.
Jesus Christ.
The Seekers of
Okay.
Insighttiana.
And so, Tiana.
I
Insighttiana.
love this ambient wagon wheel.
Yeah. Rock me, mama, like a wagon wheel.
Stop that.
So the first hour of your travels from your camp prior go uneventful. You all are talking amongst yourself and kind of taking in the scenery around you. You can see first would be Rian, followed by Vey, Gideon, Yursa, and then Basil. Gak, you wouldn't see this. There's a massive, like, half statue sticking out of the ground of what looks like an elven-ish figure. Half of the statue's like dilapidated on one side, like the nose is broken off on one side. It is wearing a helmet that, again, on that side is broken off, and it has its sword, kind of like that picture you're kind of seeing currently on the scene right now. There's a sword stuck in the ground, and it looks like there's moss covered all over it, and foliage, and just it is ancient, but at the same time, you just get a sense of how old this place you are in is. You've never seen a statue or even like the armor depicted on the statue look like that. Gideon and Vey, you've seen these statues spattered throughout the road because you've been through here. But the rest of you, this is the first time you're actually... It feels like you're not in... what is the word? Oh my god. The current civilization. It feels like you were just in another world, almost. Everything around you just looks old and feels old. And also, Bazel and Vey, both of you, that sense of watching and that like evil, foreboding energy that's like off of the road, that's just without even divine sense or religion check or even checking for it in general, it feels calm. It feels not as active. It seems that possibly during the day things aren't out to get you. But again, with those perception checks, you would see these very faint glimpses of what look like memories of these spirits that ever so slightly get illuminated by the sun at a certain point. But they look like they're doing like small tasks that they possibly were doing before whatever happened happened. You can see large pot marks in the ground, even on the road. You have to kind of go around them. Don't know what they're from, but again, there's this feeling of serenity, but also curiosity, as you're way farther from civilization than you're used to. Yursa, this kind of makes you feel more at home.
Nice.
I would say Gak too.
I was just about to ask, does the armor they're wearing, is it reminiscent of the armor that Yelendor wore when Rian was in Lunaria? Or is it still... No. Okay.
I'll say Yelendor was wearing elven-made armor, but like elven-made armor that was made by someone who's lived in the forest their entire life.
Mm-hmm.
So like forest elf armor. I don't exactly know how to describe it, but it is elven in make. This looks elven in make, but way more intricate. And it's weird that you can even tell this from a statue that is dilapidated from all of this time.
Okay.
However, Rian, you were the first one to notice. You hear a sound coming from the distance off to the side. It sounds like, help, help, help.
Yeah, Rian would hold a hand up and say, I hear someone calling for help. Just be cautious. It could be an ambush. Just be wary. And I suppose Rian wouldn't move in front of the group. He would just, on Hikari, he would try and be maybe 10 feet ahead of the cart just so he could see anything and let them know before the cart gets too close in case it is an ambush.
Okay.
Yeah. They will kind of back Rian up in that.
Oh, that's right, because they has
He's on
their
Kova.
own. Yeah. Okay.
Yep. Okay. So you guys are kind of in the front, but like not far front. You're just like
Maybe
kind of like
10 feet.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so as everyone is aware of this, all of you would eventually start hearing it. No one's passed you on the road currently, or you don't actually see anyone up front. Rian and Vey, you would see the path kind of like does this like turn a little bit, and then it goes back to a straightness, and there are a spattering, a large amount of trees on either side of this part of the path. There's not many ruins, more so just trees. And the path actually does break. The tree line does break, and there's like this little... I don't want to say cave. It's this little like patch of treeless area that as you kind of crest around, you can see past the trees. You see a tree that has fallen over, and there is a humanoid body underneath the tree, and you can see them like moving. Their feet are moving, We'll keep the same perception, Rian and Day. They are covered in fur. Their entire body is covered in this very light brown fur. You can't see their face. All you can see is their feet. They don't wear shoes either. You can see these very padded, like clawed feet almost. But you can see them trying to lift up this tree, and you just hear, help, help.
You're all right. You're all right. And Rian will kind of look at Vey and kind of gesture his head and get off Akari and go to walk by the log. He'll kind of gesture for everybody to at least keep the cart back a little bit, just in case this does maybe go bad. But I guess Rian will kind of go around the tree just to get a look of the man. He'll say, someone's here, and look over the tree to see who is...
Yeah, you see a very tall, probably 7 foot furred individual who's wearing actually a very, very well-made studded leather armor. He has a sword that is kind of fallen off to the side. He's very built individual, and you can see this kind of brooding but also soft face of a bugbear.
All right. Vey, do you want to give me a hand with this?
Yeah, they would help.
All right. On 1, 2, 3, lift. Okay. All right. 1, 2, 3, lift.
All right, strength checks, both of you. It's not an advantage because both of you are trying to lift a tree at the same time.
I mean, are you sure I can't just give Vey advantage?
No, because then Vey would be lifting it by himself.
Rian's not very strong.
The bugbear is going to be rolling at disadvantage.
Oh, I'll take that back. Rian is strong as fuck. That's a natural 20, so that's a 21.
Okay.
Wait. Is it athletics or just a straight strength? It's the same. Never mind.
Strength is fine.
Just strength? Okay. So, 21.
23.
Rian rolled a natural 20 and Vey was so stronger.
Okay.
Womp.
So,
It's okay.
I would say at this point, the rest of the party can see all of this happening, and you guys were 10 feet behind. Rian and Vey, you get on either side of the tree, and you instruct the bugbear to, like, as you're lifting, to push up. With a natural 20, it's not like this tree fell and then broke into pieces, and there's pieces on him. It's an entire, like, 60 to 80 foot tree that has fallen over. But somehow you all don't like lift it up and like throw it over. You lift it just enough, like kind of lifting like the back of a car. You get it just high enough for him to scramble out. And you can see that his legs are broken.
Ah, shit.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. Oh, God. And he'll kind of gesture for the rest of the group to come up and say, Vey, if you could maybe do something. Bazel, Yursa, I think we could use your help as well. Someone's hurt.
Sure. Okay. And Bazel kind of picks up speed and runs over to where Rian is. Oh my... Who is this?
Well, I never got your name. Sorry. Hello.
My name is Bro Truck. Not Bro Truck. Yes, it is. It is Bro Truck. It is.
Bro Truck.
Bro Truck.
Bro Truck.
Bo Truck.
Bro Truck.
Restraint.
Uh,
Restraint. We need to talk to this guy.
I'm gonna change his name. We're gonna.
you could leave it. Ursa is, I mean, unless someone else is going to, Ursa will cast
My
Kerwin.
name is Backen.
Backing? Like backing up the Bro Truck?
Joe, you're a fucking terrible person.
Wow.
Yes, if you want to take one leg, I can take the other.
Yes, and she'll go ahead and cast, Cure Wounds.
Same.
Fix that leg.
Yeah, so what level are you?
I was just gonna do it at first level. I don't know, man. It's just a broken leg.
Have you ever...
Okay.
Do you know if Cure Wounds fixes broken legs, should we put a splint on
It's
him
magic.
maybe? Should we? No, that was Rian.
Oh, sorry.
I like to imagine Yursa flips. It's magic.
I don't know, John, would that work? I'm sorry. I didn't mean to just answer. Okay,
that'll work.
okay, cool.
Okay.
Okay,
How
cool.
much?
Yeah.
How much do you heal?
8 for... I'll take his left leg. For 900, Alex.
Wow.
Basil will take the remaining one for 6.
The remaining one.
It's gonna be one of those days.
I love that you guys just immediately were like, I'm gonna heal the right leg, you got the left leg.
Yeah, that's
No,
what
no,
Steve
that's not what
does.
Rachel said. No, Rachel said the remaining.
But yeah, Yursa will look to Rian and say, I think both of his legs will be fine. He just needs a little rest. Maybe a little sore for a couple days.
All right. So, back in, you said, as they're kind of healing, how'd this happen?
As you were saying that,
Oh, fuck.
he looks at you, and you see this kind of sorrowful face as he goes, I'm sorry. And from the tree line around you,
Son of
you
a bitch.
see 4 bugbears walk out with these kind of gnarled swords, one with a bow pointing at you, and this other one, this more hulking one, kind of stepping out, kind of says, look, just give us all you got in the wagon, and we'll let you on your way.
How about this, friend? You walk back into the forest, and we let you live.
No, that's not gonna work. You're outnumbered.
Okay. And he'll kind
Wait,
of...
how many of them? How many of
Yeah,
them?
hold, that math doesn't add up.
There might be more in the trees.
There could be more in the trees. That's true.
Currently you only see 4 around, and then Baggin, who's on the ground.
And Rian will look to everybody and say, so are we going to give them everything we've got?
Absolutely not.
All right.
We could just
I'll give him everything I got.
break their legs.
Yeah.
Gideon, you should give him one of your things.
It's gonna be Yursa, and she's just gonna, like, walk over to the guy with the arrow.
Oh, he is behind Gak and Gideon in the carts, like in a tree line.
Oh, he's, like, talking to us
Wait.
from the tree.
No, so, okay. I'm just gonna bring you to the map.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
This is what you
Oh.
currently see right now. This
Okay,
guy
wait.
has the bow. He's not the one who was talking.
Buddy boy
there's
right
this
here?
guy off to the side. That's
Oh,
talking.
no, we're killing these guys, man. So much for Yursa. Okay, well, I'm gonna go with it because that's what Yursa would do anyway. She's going to. 1 second.
Okay. Yeah, we can wait.
Sorry, I was just showing what I have.
Gak's gonna cast mage armor on himself while everyone's sitting here.
Smart.
Okay. The one in front of her is talking, right?
No, okay, so this is Baggin.
Baggin? I like Bar
This-
Truck better.
This guy is, yeah, well,
This guy's
it
talking. Okay.
immediately became a
Okay. And
immediate
he's not.
regret.
He's not in the tree, right? He's on the ground.
Yeah, they're on the ground.
Okay, you're just gonna walk up to him very slowly with her hands up. If
think-
that's okay.
Oh,
He's going to pull back. Well, he doesn't have a bow. He has his sword out, and he's going to put his hand up and say, "Stop right there. Don't get closer."
Okay,
I'll say you
okay.
could probably get like right there.
Okay.
actually, Rian was right there.
Okay.
These
She is just going to say, listen, we are just travelers trying to get from one place to another, and I think it would be wonderful if you just went about your way and we went about ours. It's not very kind to steal from another person.
Look, we understand.
And as he starts speaking, she's gonna cast Erupting Earth.
If I see her go to start casting a spell, I'm flinging the kunai back, or the Eldar's dagger on a rope to this guy. Just whoosh.
Okay.
Because I
Roll
know that
initiative.
this wasn't gonna go nicely, so...
Roll
mean-
initiative.
Okay, sure.
Oh, god damn it.
Oh, let me do that on
I never
here.
click on my thing. I'm so sorry.
It's okay. It's
Oh
totally
wait, I
fine.
did the wrong thing. I'm sorry.
It's
Okay,
totally
I rolled a regular.
fine.
I rolled a regular one, but I didn't add. So that's a 16, 18.
Womp.
No,
Womp.
we're just gonna play this song because it's the best one.
My poor computer Bertha is just so on fire.
You're 7? No, man, I rolled 7. It's a trash life. He's trying to be cool, and this is what happens when
Ooh.
he tries to be cool.
I rolled a 4.
Huh.
Gak's
Oof.
still like reading his book or something. I don't know.
What happened?
He was just like, we're helping that guy, so these 4 showing up just must be more friends. Nothing to worry about. Just goes back to
So
reading.
pissed I use a spell slot. Next time we're just
Right?
gonna leave people with the
That's
broken.
Right?
Man, what did Rianne say as we walked up? Just in case it's an ambush. God damn it. Ugh.
So this is Rian's
I mean-
fault.
Wait a second.
I will say, like, anyone who wants to rob a bunch of travelers with, like, a big fucking, like, tiger on the thing, and they just saw us lift a whole tree, and they're like, yeah, that's a good target. We're smart. Those people, they seem like normal travelers. Almost all of them are over 6 foot, but those people, those motherfuckers.
It did not remove. Okay, hold on.
If
Okay.
his friends were here, why didn't he just get them to help him?
Ursa, you rolled the 7, right?
Unfortunately.
Okay, because let's see, Ursa, Basil, Rianne. Rianne's on there twice. What did you roll,
13.
Rianne? 13. Okay. So Bugbear 1. Gideon, you rolled an 18.
18.
Okay, that's fine. I can just change this one. Vey, Rianne, Basil, Ursa, Gak. I think that's good, right? I think we're good.
I think so.
I don't
Basil
see
rolled-
everything on the turn order.
18.
Gideon and Basil aren't in the turn order.
I don't see
Yeah.
Gak on the turn order.
You don't
Gak
see
is
them?
also not it.
No.
Nope.
Okay. Okay, I'm just gonna remove everyone from the turn order. Can you guys see the bugbears at least?
I can
Yes.
see 3 of them.
Okay. It was like keeping everything from last time, from the Bulgura fight.
Oh.
Interesting. I can
What'd you roll,
only see
Gak?
well,
4?
4.
Rianne, you got a what again?
13.
Okie dokie, artichoke. 13. Vey, you got a what?
17.
Alright, 17. Ooh, high up there. Who am I missing? Gideon?
18.
18.
And
Now
Basil-
can everyone's. What did Basil get?
You're missing Basil.
18? Who has a higher dex between you two?
I have +3.
Dex.
Rachel has
Plus 2.
I think.
Alright, so Basil's after Gideon. I'm just going to do this. 18.1. 18.2.
So that
Wait,
would make
that's
would-
fucking wrong. Yeah, I understand.
keep it
All
at
right,
18.
look, okay,
Great.
everyone be careful, okay? All right, top of the round.
Oh, do
it's actually the
do
leader's
Ursa and
turn.
I get our
Yeah.
things off?
You do, yes.
Okay.
Yes!
Nice.
So erupting
Can't
earth
you-
is a what?
I misspoke, and I'm definitely gonna do a thunder wave instead. Sorry.
But
Don't
you
hate
said
me.
erupting earth.
Don't hate me, cause I'm beautiful. I'm not, but alright.
What is it? Is it a square, cone, circle,
It
Here.
is a
trapezoid?
15-foot. Wait, wow, I can't read. Cube.
Cube. Okay. All right.
A
15 feet.
15-foot cube.
All I'm
It's from
saying
you,
is,
though, isn't it?
Oh, it's from
What
me.
the fuck is this?
Yeah,
They
Can
have
I
to be like
step-
right next to you.
Can I step forward and cast that?
Yeah. What is?
You're
what
a doll. Cube.
there needs to be more trapezoid-shaped spells,
Doll
because
cube.
that's I really enjoy that.
I
Oh,
just wanna say-
Oh,
use
I'm
this fire
sorry.
one.
Okay, thank you. Sorry, I'll delete this ugly thing.
I just
Stop.
want to say that Bro Truck broke his legs for this.
It's not. He's not Bro Truck.
It should be like
He's bagging.
with the corner of it touching me, right?
Right, bagging like Bilbo.
It's centered
Elbow
around
Wiggins?
Ursa.
Oh.
Oh, it's centered around me?
Yeah. It's basically like you slam the ground and like you shoot stuff out of you. It's centered on
A
you.
thunder wave?
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's centered on you.
Oh, well, that doesn't really help with this dude.
Yeah, each
Okay.
creature in a 50
Oh.
foot cube originating from you must make a con saving throw.
Oh,
There
well,
you
that was a dumb choice. Oh, okay, well, thank you. All right, I'll take it anyway. You're wonderful. You're beautiful.
Well, now it's a 20 foot.
Uh, okay. I'm
Undo.
sorry. I should've
Undo.
picked
There we
that
go.
as
It's-
well. I'm
There
sorry.
you go.
All right. So he needs to make
Con
a
save.
on save. Oof. That's not good. That's a 3 plus a 1.
On the way. Let's do some damage. Yes.
Oh. Okay, dokie. He's pushed, right? Don't know why he pushes people.
It does. 10 feet away from me.
How high?
That
up
is
in the
you.
tree is he?
He's not in the trees. They're underneath trees right now. So what does it look like when Yursa casts Thunderwave?
Yeah, so she has this like very kind smile on her face, but as soon as she realizes that these creatures are not gonna just back the fuck up and leave, she's just going to put her hands like immediately down. Like she's like earthbending right now, I guess,
Mhm,
and just throwing her hands down to the ground, and like thunder from beneath the earth just rumbles and just forces him backwards.
Yeah. So as the thunder emanates from the earth, you watch as the earth kind of kicks up and actually like throws him 10 feet back as he lands on his ass. We're gonna say he's he it doesn't make them prone, does it? It just moves them 15 feet.
Nope,
Or
just
10 feet?
10, just 10 feet
Okay.
back.
You see him get thrown back. He lands on his ass and then quickly gets back up and like kind of snarls towards Yursa. As that's happening, Rian has quickly taken out the dagger on a rope and thrown it towards this other individual. Go ahead and make an attack roll.
So I already rolled the attack roll. It's a 25.
That hits.
And then 10 points of damage.
Nice.
Swaggy.
All right. So at the top of the round, it is. We'll call this guy Bro Truck. It's Bro Truck's turn.
He's Bro Truck again! Yay!
God.
I hate my life. This is no longer there. He's going to run over here, and he's going to take 2 attacks at you, Yursa.
Okay, that's fair. As he should.
He goes, he swings with this gnarled sword, and there is a trunk of a tree just right there. Natural 1 hits the tree. And your head is here. The tree is like over here. The sword just gets stuck in the tree, and he just puts his foot on it and kind of pulls it out. Second attack. Okay, that's much better. 17 to hit.
Yes, that hits.
He pulls out the sword, and he comes back down with a slice. It scathes you, but also takes off a little bit. You take 11 points of slashing damage.
Got it.
Okay, that's his turn. Gideon, you're up.
By the way, question is this guy over to the left? Is he on the turn order?
Which guy?
The blue
This guy?
goblin, yeah.
Yeah, he is part of the blue. Oh, ha! He's part of the blue team, so technically he's supposed to go right now.
Okay.
Sorry, you're not up
You're
yet.
fine.
This one who had the bow is going to shoot it towards Gak.
He can go fuck himself.
That is a 19 plus 4.
Yeah, that hits.
You take 9 points of piercing damage.
Okay.
What's his movement speed?
There's
Let's
half
see,
of
let's-
Gak's health.
He can't get to you. Actually, do they have long reach? Or whatever it's called?
They have what?
The bugbears have a thing, don't they, where they can reach 10 feet instead of 5? Or is that, I'm not remember. Never mind. He doesn't have that on his stat block, so I'm not going
I
to say.
know some bugbears have like glaives, but I don't know.
Yeah. Another arrow shoots it towards Gideon.
Okay.
Well, there goes my dice. And it's not it didn't even roll. Like it's like up against something. 21 to hit.
That's gonna hit.
All right, you take 9 points of piercing damage.
Okay.
Now it's Gideon's turn.
All right. Gideon's gonna move like 10 feet forward. He's gonna summon his cannon right here, and he's gonna fire it right at the guy who just shot him.
All right.
That's
Hold
a
on.
nat 20.
Okay.
This guy's about to have a bad day.
Were you summoning the cannon again?
Yeah,
you
like,
can move it.
That's fine.
All right, you can move it.
Maybe like right there. Do
Okay.
that.
There you go. Nat 20. Okay.
Yeah.
Roll
That's-
damage.
That's 27 points of damage.
With a resounding, you all, well, Gak specifically, you would see this cannon just assemble, and as it's finishing assembling, this Eldritch cannon fires, and the head just is gone. As the bugbear drops to their knees and falls dead on the ground. That was just enough to kill them.
Hey! And then, just turning back around to look at any of the other bugbears he can see. Who's next? And that'll
Make an intimidation check.
Oh, hell yeah.
Come on.
Ooh. Intimidation. That's a dirty 20.
Okay, I'm gonna make insights for all of them.
Oh, Gideon ain't lying. I know what you mean, though.
Okay. All right, Gideon.
And
Is that
that's
your
it.
turn?
That's it.
Okay, Basil, you're up.
So Basil is going to bless Gak, Gideon, and Yrsa.
Nice.
I'll take my blessing.
Whenever a target
Yes.
makes attack roll or save. Good.
Okay,
Yeah.
you all are blessed.
That was it.
Is that it?
I love this
I
music.
think so, yeah.
All right, Vey, you're up.
Alright, is this the bugbear we helped?
Yes.
Does he look hostile?
Can we push the tree on him again?
Unfortunately, no. You'd have to pick it up and put it on him. Actually, he would technically be like right here. You could see that his face was like sorrowful as he knew exactly what was about to happen. He's getting up currently. He's still prone. He's getting up. Make an insight check, Vey.
Alright.
Weren't his legs actually broken?
Yeah.
They
Yeah,
Sure.
when
Jesus.
Basil and Yrsa cast the healing spells, you heard
You
as
gotta,
his legs cracked back into place.
you gotta get better friends,
thing.
bud.
Broke his legs for a
17
bit.
for the insight.
Okay, you're seeing that this individual is indifferent from that insight. He does not look as aggressive as the others around you, and he's taking his time getting up. And as he's also getting up, he's looking down at his legs that were broken. He doesn't look like he wants to fight.
Yeah, man.
Alright, okay.
Cool guy.
Vey will just point at him and just be like, don't, before he and, is this one up a tree, or is it just
No.
in the woods?
They're all on ground level.
Okay, so he's gonna run up to this one and smack.
As you're running up, I would like you to make an intimidation check with advantage
Oh, shit,
on
alright.
Baggin.
On...
Baggin.
Intimidation.
Wait, I thought his name was Bow Truck.
No, Bro Truck is the leader guy.
Oh, Bro Truck
Hold
is the leader. Baggin is the Baggin is the good guy.
Here, let's
Hey,
just.
Baggin, what are the
26
odds you
for an
break
intimidation check.
Hell
Okay,
yeah.
so as you say, don't, he looks at you and shakes his head, and you run over to this bugbear.
Alright. He's very much not wanting to have to kill the person we just healed.
That's about it.
Hot damn.
What is that, 16 points of damage
Yeah.
total?
Yeah.
This guy in front of you is not looking hardy, I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
He's
Alright.
bloodied.
Great. Solid. Okay, that's me.
Okay, you run over after inciting Baggin, intimidating Baggin into not fighting, running over to this bugbear. You just so quickly you run over and swipe twice with the sword, almost carving a off-centered X on this bugbear's chest. It's not looking good for him. Okay, Rian, you're up.
Yeah, cool, dude. So, Rian is going to mount Hikari just because Hikari's right next to him, so he's going to hop up, finally use my mountain combatant feat for the first time in 15 sessions. Whip the reins, and he's going to head towards this guy right here. Sorry, I'm on the wrong screen. He's going to head towards this guy right here. So Hikari's movement speed is 40. So he's going to move.
You're going to get to him.
20 feet here. And Hikari's going to do like a little jump as I'm coming down, and I'm going to make 2 quick slashes. Now, with the mounted combatant feat, any creature that is medium or... yeah, it's smaller than my mount. Oh, wait. So, yeah. Hikari is large, so any medium or small or tiny creature, I have advantage on those attacks while I am mounted.
I will also say with your passive what's your passive insight?
Passive
What would that be?
insight 16.
Yeah. So after what Gideon did, you can see that this creature, this bugbear, has like started like turning away. He's very intimidated as you run over and like jump over some of the fallen trees and like then go to slice. He kind of just puts his hands up. So yeah, advantage all the way. Go ahead, make your attacks. Swipe on this guy.
Okay.
Still want to do it after all that information? I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
Did he... Well, did he drop his weapons?
No, he still has his weapon in his hand.
All right.
It just looks like he was kind of turning away.
All right. The first attack is going to be lethal damage, but I don't know. Rian may have a change of heart on the second attack.
Okay.
Oh, wow. First one, that was not very good, even with advantage. Highest one was a 9, so we're looking at... Oh, that's still a 16. No, 17. 17.
To hit?
Yeah, 17 to hit.
That does hit.
Okay.
Roll damage.
Oh, I forgot to... Jeez. Okay, well, before the second attack, I'll activate my Might of the Okunai. I forgot, but it's okay. I forgot to say it. So second attack, that's much better. That's a 16 plus 8, so 24.
Yeah, they both hit.
Okay, so that's 1d6 plus 2d8. Boop-a-doop-a-doop.
So dumb.
Boop-a-doop-a-doop. Where's mine?
There's 1d6 plus 2d12 and 1d20 plus 2d8.
Hell yeah, man. Where's my other...
Good
That's
night, man.
55 points of damage with my first strike.
You're level 2, man. What about it?
You're the one who let
That's
me play the...
135 damage with my second. Was that a natural 20? No.
Okay.
But this third attack is offhand.
12. That's not a whole lot of damage. Okay, well, never mind. I take that back. I forgot my modifiers plus 7 to damage.
Oh my god.
It's 14 plus 12, 26 points of damage. Oh, that's only the first. That's the first and second attack. Sorry, that was my bad.
Okay, how much was the first?
The first would have
You
been...
said the second one you didn't want to be
lethal.
You
Yeah,
were contemplating.
Yeah, the first damage would have been 9 points of damage.
Okay, he's still up after that.
Uh,
So he's still up after the first attack.
okay.
Second attack, he's gonna go down.
Second attack, yeah, we'll do non-lethal then, just to knock him out, just in case we have questions. Well, no, we could just ask Baggin.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right. Nah, we're just gonna kill
I
this
feel
asshole.
like you're over there, like Rian's like, is Vay gonna get mad about this? Fuck it.
He's trying to be better, but yeah, they're bandits. It's okay. It's not a war crime if they're war criminals, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, he'll just...
Didn't put down his weapon, so.
Yeah, exactly. Rian made sure to like round so he was facing him.
Okay. So you slice up the back once as you are passing him on Akari, and you notice he's starting to go down, and you quickly, to make it as painless as possible, just actually, how do you make it as painless as possible as you kind of slice down, killing this one?
Oh, I think probably just one clean slash. That would be the most. So like the first slash would have been like across the chest, which would have been a lot of pain, like light enough to like make this huge laceration, and then I think the second one would just be this like backwards slash, hitting the back of his neck first, and then clean through.
Okay. Yep, the head, and he falls to the ground. You still have 20 feet of movement because you're on Akari.
He'll move. I'm pretty sure it's right here behind Gak. Catty corner to Gak. Right there.
Okay.
just getting closer
Awesome.
to the other two bugbears over here. But then that's it.
Super awesome.
Actually, last thing, he'll put away the sword so he can get out the bow next turn, just in case because I don't think he has enough movement to get
You
over there.
sheath and start pulling out the bow. All right, Yursa, you're up. You're right next to Bro Truck.
Okay, hi, Bro Truck. Yursa, how does Bro Truck look?
He's bloodied. He's not looking
Okey-doke.
good. I would just like to say a random name generator really failed me.
You know, it happens.
No, it was a success. Believe me, it was a good time.
Yursa's just gonna go ahead and she's gonna extend her hand, and from the ground, this really long vine with these really gnarly-looking thorns are going to appear, and she's just gonna thorn whip this dude in the face.
Hell yeah.
Let me roll to hit. 4. Ooh, plus 8. 22 to hit.
Yeah.
Sorry, I have to count my fingers sometimes. Okay.
No, you're
There's
good. You're
damage.
good. That hits. That totally hits.
8. It's not great, but it's 8.
8 points of damage?
Yes. Across the face.
Okay. So, you watch as you cast Thorn Whip, like a snake, it kind of uncoils from the vines of the trees above, and then it starts to grow these thorns as it whips across his face. You see like a very big chunk of fur just get taken out from the cheeks and around the eye, and just leaving skin, nothing but skin. Like a part of his face was like shaven, except with a whip of thorns, and there's just blood running down his face as he just grabs it. Oh!
So sorry. No, wait. I'm not.
He drops his
supposed to be
sword.
Sorry.
He's on his knees.
Ah!
He's real bad.
Yursa doesn't know how
only-
she feels about this new
He
power.
only drops his sword because he's in pain. He's not dropping it because he doesn't want to fight anymore. I just want to point that out.
Now she's
grabs
like
his face.
really confident about what she did, but also this is a lot. Even though she's okay with beating people up in bear form, her form is a little different.
Yeah.
That's her turn.
Okay. It is Baggin's turn.
Tell me, sir, are you entitled to a piece of property in the Shire?
Baggin. God damn it, Joe. He doesn't even unsheath the sword or pick up the sword that's on the ground. He looks towards his friends that are still alive, and you see him put his hands up and just say, "Drop your weapons, please!" And he's gonna roll persuasion.
So, just to clarify, we don't kill him. Because that's a war
Yes.
crime, right? Okay, that's a war crime. Okay, all right. Okay, all right.
All right, Gak, time to end Baggin's life.
Gak is going to Misty Step right here next to Yursa and Bro Truck as a bonus action. And then for his action, he pulls out his orb that he used to use as a spellcasting focus and he now realizes he doesn't need. But he points it towards Bro Truck's face and he's going to cast Minor Illusion to make it look like it's crackling with like lightning and energy. And he just holds it there and goes,
Now you give us everything you have.
Oh, okay. I love this. Make an intimidation check with advantage
and with bless.
and
Oh,
with bless.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so
Ooh.
16
And
plus
D4? D4? Come on, 4. Come on, 4. Or 1. Do whatever you want, D4.
It's rolling. It's
Okay.
rolling.
18
Okay.
total. Bro Truck is on the ground. He's kind of holding his eye that is ruined from this thorn whip. And you just this lightning energy going through the orb. You just hear him go, "Ugh. All right. Everyone stop fighting. Fuck."
Gak turns to Yursa and goes,
If someone tries to steal from you, you have to steal from them first.
I don't know if that's necessarily wrong. She shrugs.
Who rules? So,
Is that your turn, Gag?
yeah, I end my turn.
Okay, so. Well, this guy over here is dead. Red team is dead. Well, this guy up there. The guy next to Vay, he hears Bro Truck, he hears Baggin, and he's not as bad as the rest of them. He's still bloodied, but he's still like up and was ready to fight. And you see him like tense up on his sword
No.
and throw it down, and it kind of gets stuck in the ground and like sticking up from the ground.
You made a wise decision.
Yeah, Vay's just like, good boy.
Oh.
Yeah, he gives you a horrible, angry face, Vay. After saying that, he's not going to do anything. Bro Truck, other guy, Blue, is fucking gone off of this plane of existence. His head has disappeared. Bro Truck, who is like kind of on his knees, just kind of sits back right on his ass and just like holding his face. Fine, you win. They're not gonna do anything. Gideon, it's your turn.
I mean, is combat over?
So
It's-
anyway, I started blasting.
I would like to ask everyone: is everyone just going to not do anything, right?
Yeah, if they've dropped their
Okay.
weapons,
Yeah.
Rand's not
We're
gonna.
not war criminals.
I'm not giving the option. I'm not taking the option away from you. I'm just, I just want to make
Taking the
sure.
option of being a war criminal away
can
from
be
us. Thank
war
you so much,
criminals
Captain.
if you
Please take it away
want.
from us.
I mean,
And
I
with
want
that,
to kill
combat
them
is-
all, but
So,
With
but just
that-
a real quick question about war criminals in D&D. One of the things to violate the Geneva Convention is like chemical warfare. Does poison spray count as chemical warfare? So anytime a wizard of first level learns poison spray, they have violated our Geneva Convention.
Yeah.
I mean,
fucked up.
Well, is it violating the Geneva Convention if you know how to
No,
do chemical warfare?
But like, no, that's a good point. But like,
Yursa is going to.
why would you learn
Thank
it if
you.
you're not going to use it? You know?
hey,
Yursa
Jack
is
has spells
going.
he hasn't used.
Yursa.
Is
well,
going.
we have tear gas, and we see how that
Guys,
Oh my
what is Yursa doing?
Okay, Yursa.
Yursa pulls out tear gas. She is going to, kind of kneel down to Bro Truck. I'm very, very sorry.
Everyone shut
I-
up!
You were attacking us, and this was me defending our cart and myself. So if you could forgive me, I could heal your face if you would like. And Yursa
Kinda
will
moves his-
reach her hand forward, and she will cast Cure Wounds on him.
Yep, it heals up. There's a nasty scar across the face from the thorn whip. There are also like pop marks in the skin from where the thorns actually like pierced through the cheek and everything. Also, fur's never going to grow back there again. As he looks up,
good.
he doesn't really say anything. You can see that the ones that are still alive, the one next to Vay looks angry. Baggin is just dealing with a lot of things mentally currently. Bro Truck he's just defeated. They're not really saying much.
Now, I think we've all learned a very important lesson today. Right? Just looking at Bro
Yes.
Truck. Good. So now in the future, you're no longer going to attack people, because when you do, you never know what those people are capable of, and you might become very injured, or unfortunately, like your friend, something bad could happen, and they could die. Now we know.
The next time you need something, just go to market.
Rian is looming over Baggin right now, on top of a car. He's still just.
Baggin just looks over like,
Also,
does
I wasn't-
anyone-
stone.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
I was gonna say. Also, I wasn't joking about giving us your stuff.
Well-
all right. He starts taking off this. All he has is like this belt that holds a pouch, and that's it. Like, unless you want his armor as well,
No,
Give
you
us
can
your
keep that.
shoes.
they don't
I'll
wear
take
shoes.
the pouch though.
He hands it to you. If you look inside Gak, there is 20 silver and 5 copper pieces.
Nice. Gak just kind of takes it and looks over and goes,
We got it.
So, so one of them's dead. One's
2 of them are dead.
unconscious. Oh, 2 of them are dead.
Oh wait, no, yeah, this one's dead. They're both dead.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I killed him because we could
Oh.
talk to Baggin. Yeah.
Okay. Can we just say we gathered up the other 3 so they're all kind of like in a line at the same place?
yeah. If we want to put them next to Baggin, that's fine. You hear Baggin. I am really sorry.
You, quiet.
That's fair.
Oh, Baggin.
Bro Truck says, I fucking hate this. Why did I hate this name?
It doesn't help the way that you wrote his name on Roll20. Bro Truck.
It's more supposed to be like Bro Trick, but whatever.
That would have been fine.
that would
Yeah,
fine.
well, I was reading
about
it
that
from the
30
name
minutes ago.
generator.
Aw,
came out pro
Joe's
truck.
illiterate.
For some reason, Basil just disappears.
Oh my god.
You see a poof of feathers, of
I'm
raven feathers in her place.
John, you can't say that because you were literally just murdered in front of my eyes.
Oh my god.
John's laptop is his book that speaks to him and gives him spell.
Kill the Basil.
The bugbears just look over the party expectingly.
So, do you have a camp where you store all the things that you've taken?
Yeah.
Where's that camp?
They look in this direction. Brotrick looks in that direction, and says, "About a mile that way."
So, when you said that you had us outnumbered and you had all that confidence in that voice, and you were very obviously lying, I saw right through that. So I'm going to ask you another question. Is there anybody else at that camp that we should know about?
Yes.
How many?
4.
4.
Mm-hmm.
Rihanna will look to the group and say, so what does everyone want to do?
Well, I guess that depends. Do we want to do the hero good guy thing or the karma thing?
The hero good guy thing.
Well, then I'm not sure.
I think that we'd be
Hey.
doing everyone on these roads a favor if we were to go to their camp and convince these individuals to pursue a different lifestyle.
Well, I feel like these three people can look at what we did to their 2 friends in 6 seconds and maybe just realize that there's more people like us constantly
That's
on this
true.
road. I think
Yeah,
we just tell
maybe.
their friends to move on.
Yeah, maybe we could bring their dead bodies back to the camp and show them.
Rian's gonna look at Brotruck and point his sword at Gak and say, Gak is one of the nicest people in this group, and that's what he said we should do. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Bro, we should listen to them. I think. Also, can we not bring the dead friends back to the camp, please? This
No,
is
you can
Baggin.
bury him.
Thank you.
I meant you should tell them what we did to your two friends in 6
We,
seconds.
we will, right? And he looks over at Brotrick and the other, and yes, we will.
John, do I believe them that this is
Yeah.
the lifestyle that they're going to abandon?
I was just about to
Make an
ask that
insight
same
check.
thing, yeah. Oh, with advantage, you say? Because of my stone rune, using the wisdom of the mountain like a fucking badass? Yeah, you got it.
Wow.
Damn.
Can I cancel Joe?
Can you cancel me?
Disadvantage.
I got it at 20.
Damn, dude!
I
Woo!
know.
I'd also like to say Vay, the other
You
one's
microwave
still,
those dice before you play with them?
angry looking.
I mean,
at
every
you.
time.
Hell yeah, dude.
You
I
do
rolled, even with advantage, a humble 11.
Ooh.
Well,
It's okay.
Brienne, you believe him. Totally. Gideon, you do believe them. However, you can tell just looking at their garb and like the way they present themselves, these aren't like civilized individuals. You can quickly tell this is probably how they've always been, and how they survive.
When you give up this line of work, what are you going to do?
This is the only way we've been able to survive. Can't really blend in with society in Valamine.
Tell me about it.
Being denizens of the raised road gives us comfort, protection from the Valamine Empire and their gods and their way of life. This isn't the only way we survive, it's just the way that we protect.
well, certainly you're not surviving this way. You had people die today. You
That
don't
doesn't
have to
normally
steal.
happen.
Well, it did today, and it could happen tomorrow or the next day. You don't have to steal and hurt people. If you want to live here, absolutely, this is a very beautiful place. And I think a lot of my friends here agree that it is better than being right in the middle of the Empire, but you can't just keep doing this.
Think about it. What happens the next time someone fights back and they're not as nice as we are? All of you get killed, and your friends back at your camp do too. You may have lasted
Dagon.
a while, but one day, somebody else will come along, and they'll put you down.
He's right, Brotrick. I mean, if we die, no one's going to be able to take care of the family.
Hey, do you guys steal so like you can get food and stuff?
Yes. We also
Oh no, keep going, John.
we take what we need. Armor, weapons, gold occasionally. Most time food. Or mounts, horses, cattle. Enough to get by. Hunting doesn't really work in this area.
Have you thought about moving? This
We
doesn't
tried
exactly
once.
seem the most hospitable of lands.
We did try once. We sent out a party to figure out a route, and they never came back. We have quite reason to believe that the gods of Valamine got involved, or at least denizens of one of the towns.
John, do we so like in our stuff that's in our cart, would we have any like seeds?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Basil's part of the party. You definitely would have seeds
yeah.
and stuff like that.
Gak's just gonna be like, Basil, do you think maybe we could just give them some seeds and they can like grow food?
Um, of course. And she looks over to the three standing there. Have you, um, do you know how to keep up with plants?
We have a garden.
If we gave you more seeds for more food, would you have room and the means to expand your garden?
Broderick looks over to Baggin, and Baggin says, I'm pretty good with. I have a green thumb, I think is the expression.
Yes. And Basil turns around and walks over to the cart. She grabs a few different kinds of seeds, more so reoccurring, like probably vegetables, etc., that they don't have to worry too much about losing. And she walks back over. So these should keep you going for a while. Just make sure to not crowd them together, or else, you know, as breed them and all.
I will.
When was the last time you killed someone?
We normally don't.
Do I
That wasn't
believe
what
them?
I asked.
I can't remember. We've only killed people when we were in immediate danger. Never when we're doing this.
Well, that's good. So Bro Truck, I'm gonna just.
Gak gives him back his pouch with the money in it.
I'm just gonna give this back to you. I think maybe like the next adventures, maybe if you had like a little, if you were all like standing on the side of the road, and maybe you could like buy some items from some adventures, and then if you sold some of your stuff, like you could get more money, and then you could buy more stuff, and then instead of stealing, you could just use that money you have.
We could try.
Vey is just going to walk up to, I guess, Baggin, and he's just gonna reach into his coin purse, and he's just gonna hand him 30 gold. Just gonna hand him 30 gold.
Baggin holds it in his large, furred, like almost bare hands.
Why? We attacked you. We tried to steal your things.
And you think that I don't know what it's like to be in Velamine and be treated differently. This is systemic. This isn't because you hate people. This isn't because you want to kill people. This is because the Empire punishes you for who you are. And I find that abominable. And I think they're more monsters than we could ever be. So that should last you a while. Be careful with it. Be smart. And try not to get yourself killed.
Just remember, we have the common enemy. We just have to remember who's on our side.
Thank you. I don't know what to say.
Well, I don't think you need to say anything else, as words are only going to do so much. You head back to your camp. You stay there unless you need supplies, and you buy those supplies. Fair and square. We're going to be traveling up and down this road for a while. So if we come back, and we hear about some bugbears robbing some poor, defenseless travelers, remember, We know where your camp is. Do I make myself crystal clear?
Yes, you do.
Good. Get out of here. Before we change our mind.
They stay there for like a couple seconds, just dumbfounded by these people they just attacked being so generous. They grab their things. They all, like, the ones who are grabbing their weapons, like, kind of like slowly grab their weapons and like sheathe them to make sure that they're not acting aggressive. And then they turn around and start like power walking away. They stop.
We need to grab their bodies.
And they turn around.
Can we grab our friends?
By all means.
Okay.
So they all go over. They grab their friends who both are missing their heads. You can see they kind of take like the cloth that was like around their like bodies and like take it off and like put it over their chest to like obfuscate, I guess is the word, their decapitated heads. And they make their way out. Yeah, so these bugbears make their way off of the path, by the way, into the forest. Baggin does stop, and he kind of yells back to the party. You said you all were continuing that way, right? And he points to the way you guys were heading.
That's correct.
Nope, this is where we're turning around.
Just be careful getting towards the center. I don't know if you all have been around. Just watch out for the cinder spirits.
Cinder spirits. You want to give us a little bit more than that?
Spirits of people that look like they have fire in their inside. You'll see them at night.
Just another Tuesday.
Any known weaknesses, strategies, locations, or just fiery spirits?
Weaknesses. I don't know any weaknesses. We don't travel that way. Just stay on the path. Close your ears as well. There's sounds that might drive you insane. All right. Thank you.
Okay.
And they make their way out.
Real quick, hearing that, this is a very strange question, but would there be any in the immediate area, since we're in such a heavily forested area in this part of the raised road, would there be any like beehives in this area?
Beehives?
Beehives, yeah.
What a question.
No.
No? Okay.
No.
All right. Because I was just trying to find some, and maybe somebody else would have beeswax, because that way we could pack our ears with beeswax, so that way we couldn't hear anything. But that was my thought. But trying to pull a page from the Odyssey,
Right.
you know. Resist the siren song. Okay, well then if not, then that's cool. That's cool.
Okay.
It might just be like really annoying noises and not necessarily.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on, sorry.
No, you're good. I do think that maybe not Gideon, Rian, he would just kind of start taking small pieces of maybe his like bedroll, like very, very small pieces, just to create like little earplugs that people can use when we get closer.
Okay. All right. So you all pick up your things and you head off once more. I would like... Night. Roll me a d8.
Oh. Okay.
Where'd my dice go? Oh, yeah.
Oh, 1 again. Wow.
Roll again.
More
Bug-
Oh,
bugbears.
it's already happened. 4.
Okay. I think with that, as you guys are making your way further north of the raised road, you've kind of been keeping track using the map. You're probably 30 minutes, if not 40 minutes from Lake Solomon.
All right. Yeah, they would kind of just pipe up, and I have to stop at the lake that's coming up soon. Very fast to drop someone off.
I have to use the bathroom too.
I'm sorry, did you say drop someone off?
Yes.
I hope you don't mean you're going to throw one of us in the lake, because I promise you it will not be me.
That's an amazing idea. I hadn't thought of it, but now I am thinking of it. So I have 2 people to drop off, Bazel and a friend of mine.
Could we talk about that? What do you mean?
I've
Yes, I would like to know your problem with me if you're going to throw me into a lake.
that was more because you suggested it, and I thought it was an amazing idea.
But why me out of everybody?
Because you suggested it.
I said it wasn't going to be me.
Who's the other person?
I was gonna say, didn't we in the first session?
Oh, did we establish this? I could be dumb.
I
Did
think
we?
in the very first session, we talked about Echo.
Retcon the entire thing.
Well, no, it could still be there because Echo hasn't been mentioned
Right.
for like a
Wait.
month.
Wait a minute. Drop someone off. Is that
Thank
thing
you.
you told us about? All the way back in Hamba Fort when we first met?
Yes, that is the thing.
Oh.
Look,
I have
Basil, no
I
swimming
have no
for you
recollection
today.
of that.
It's okay. We've been through a lot since then.
It
I-
feels
I
like
would
it's been a lot
say-
more than a month.
Yeah, I will say is everyone has this this unison O. I think we should go on break.
What a funny cut. Oh.
So let's take our 5-minute break.
All
We
right.
I think we got about 2 more hours left, and then
That's
let's
true,
see where
that's
this
true.
goes.
Okay,
Good
okay.
job,
Break time,
guys.
BRB. Yeah.
Break time. Sure.
We're back.
Hey, we're back. Now I'm in control. So, as
Okay,
you all...
all right. That's enough of that. We're going back on.
Oh my god.
We're back. Remember who has the real power here.
He who holds the OBS.
Are we done? Are we done?
I just had.
Hope the campaign never gets as tense as that just got.
I had to stunt on Jonathan for a second.
Refresh the campaign. For some reason, Rian's archived. I don't know.
That's crazy, man. I thought that somebody was being added to Salamander Coast. I guess not anymore. Oh yeah.
Spoiler alert.
Oh,
Spoiler.
it's okay. This video's coming out in like a month from when it's being recorded, so I'm not worried about it.
Spoiler.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah, Gak's really doing the potty dance. We gotta go.
Okay.
Oh,
So, over the next 45 minutes, is there anything you guys want to talk about or do as you are once again tracking over the raised road towards Lake Solemn? Which I can bring you to the map so you can see where Lake Solemn is.
I wanna see with my eyes.
oh, too late.
Right there.
I want to see with my eyes.
I want to see with my seers.
Anything?
Yeah. As we're walking, Yursa will chat with Gideon.
Well, that's what Rian was gonna ask too, but that's okay.
Oh, you
Oh.
go first.
Everyone can talk to Gideon.
We're gonna arrive at the same time.
Oh, you're gonna bully him? That's not cool.
Alternating weekends.
No, me first. No.
Yeah, go ahead.
It might be
Okay.
about the
Send
same
video.
thing, so we can...
Oh, it probably is. So Yursa would just kind of like, slow her pace so she can walk next to Gideon. Sorry, Felicity distracted me. And she just kind of like notices a certain look on his face, and she would just say, "So, how are you feeling about that?"
And he kind of looks over in regards to what exactly?
Well, I see a very similar situation here that just happened with the last time we encountered people who aren't necessarily on the right path in life attacking us. We get the upper hand. They give up. And then we're presented with a choice. And again, we make a choice where we hope that we have put them on straight and narrow. We've made some type of difference. We've hopefully made them change their ways, and then we send them on their way. I know before you were very uncertain that that was the best choice.
Still am.
I will say, in my, I guess not experience, not that I have much, but I think that people like me and you understand the importance of at least the opportunity for a second chance. And I know I've said this to you before, but what makes us better than them if we don't?
Everyone has a reason for doing bad things. I've never encountered someone who just woke up and decided to be an asshole. Everyone can convince themselves that they're doing what they need to be doing, but I don't buy it.
Well, sometimes it just takes the right people to come along and show them that there's a different way to do that. Some people don't know. You're right, no one wakes up and says, today I'm going to be a bad person and I'm going to kill everyone I can. I don't think anyone's just born with just pure hate and evil. Maybe they just never had anyone in their lives to tell them, you don't have to do that.
It's
Okay.
nice to hope that that's what's going to happen. It might. We don't know. And in truth, we'll probably never find out. But we walk away. It feels like we just absolve ourselves of all responsibility when we could have stopped more bad things from happening. They could just carry on what they're doing.
But what stops the next group from rolling in and doing the same thing?
Next
What we've
group of
done,
what?
next group of highwaymen or bandits, there's always going to be more. But maybe what we did, they'll go back and they'll tell their friends. And then they'll tell their friends. Either way, we don't know if it made a difference or not, but I don't think we're washing our hands of it. I still think about those young men that we first encountered. I pray to Melora that every day that they are getting better. It's okay, Gideon. I can't force you to change your mind. That's not what I'm here to do. I just want to bring a little bit of sunshine into your perspective. People can change. I've seen it happen.
No, maybe you're right.
Can be. You are a very wise person, Gideon. The other night when you were showing me Feather, the owl feather, I could not help but think and compare you to such a creature. But the fun thing about owls is that they can do this really neat trick where they turn their heads all the way around. And they get all sides. Get every perspective. And I think sometimes we just have to get all sides and every perspective before we can pass judgment or hope for the worst or even hope for the best. But a little bit of hope is better than nothing at all. But anyway, I could be rambling. I just wanted to check in.
I appreciate that.
She will druid craft her own version of a moon lily and give it to you.
And he'll take it.
Little bit of sunshine, one day at a time. That's all she wanted to do.
Gideon, you look at this moon lily. It glows much brighter than a normal moon lily. That's all.
It's so cute.
Obviously, Rian's not gonna. As Joe understands that conversation happened, Rian was gonna have a very similar conversation, but he'll just kind of right up behind Gideon, and I think that he would just kind of tap him on his shoulder, and just while he's on Hikari, just tap him on his shoulder and look down and just give him a nod, and then ride forward.
Okay. While this is all happening,
Just because it'd be
Vay-
silly to have that conversation a second time.
Sure.
Right.
Yeah.
Vay, you hear in your head,
I think we're getting close.
Yes, it's purposeful, in fact.
I knew that. I was just letting you know.
No, I appreciate it. I do.
You know... Well, I guess we can have this conversation in front of everyone when, well, you ultimately release me from my prison.
Prison?
I'm joking. It's not a prison at all. I made it. It's comfortable.
Oh my god. Alright, we're almost there. I promise.
All right.
That's it. As that conversation ends, you do see a stone pathway that actually leads to the right side. You see a large, kind of down a hill, this large lake.
That's a lake!
You have made it to Lake Solemn. Behind it is the Tumanzad Spires, a mountain range of forgotten memories and ruins that most people just, they don't go over there. However, Lake Solemn gives off this very, I don't want to say creepy. It's like, well, serenity, but like at the same time, like there's no one here at a lake, not even animals. And there is this kind of like fog that's kind of lifted about 20 feet from the lake's surface, possibly from humidity, being so close to the coastline, and kind of being in the center of where the White Crest Mountains give off their cold, and the bottom half of Valamine gives off a little bit of heat. It creates this kind of steam almost. And as you get closer, there's a warmth to the air as you kind of get near the lake itself. All of you would be able to tell this lake is heated. It's not cold. It's actually, if anybody was to touch the water, it's probably around 80 degrees. You guys make it to Lake Solemn.
Awesome. Yeah, they would dismount and just instantly he's walking towards the water. He wants to let poor Echo free. He feels so bad.
Okay. Do you say anything to Echo or do anything as you walk to the lake?
I guess he would be like, all right, are you sure this is the one? This is the real estate that you want?
Well, it is the closest one where you're going on your travels. It will do.
All right. It seems very nice. The mist is mysterious, I guess. I think it'll add to your presence.
I think so as well. If you can, just take the bracelet off and put it on the ground, and well, I'll do the rest.
All right, yeah, he would do so.
Okay, so as you place the bracelet down on the ground, and all of you see Vey take off this very well crafted bracelet with this single blue like circular gem in the center, like almost like a bead, places it on the ground, and there is a little bit of wind coming through, so the lake is not still. There's a little bit of waves that kind of like almost like a beach, as the waves or the water kind of goes up on the sand around and comes back down. As soon as the water touches the bracelet, you all watch as this very fast, almost like a whirlwind of water emanates from this crystal, and standing instead of the bracelet, you see this individual. A very, very beautiful, but also very, very alien, very fey for Yrsa especially, creature. She has very large white eyes, very pale white skin. The hair almost looks like kelp in a way, that kind of goes down her back. But it's also very like well managed for a hair that's made of kelp. And she looks to all of you and says,
Hello. I don't think we've actually met. I'm Echo.
Hi, I'm Gak.
Hi, Gak. I like you a lot. I just want you to know I've been here the whole time. I'm not sure how much Vay has told me about, well, you all about me. You all are great,
Not
honestly.
really.
Thank you.
There was one time about a month ago. It was brought up very briefly, but it's wonderful to meet you, Echo.
You all have been very busy. Very. I didn't want to intrude, so I just kept to myself.
Yeah.
All right. Well, this is a little awkward. I'm going
Yeah.
to go now. Vay,
Yes.
as much as I've gone back and forth with you over your travels, I do appreciate it. Entirely. Thank you for moving me from, well, where I was before to, well, here. I should be a lot safer.
I'm glad to hear it. And I come through here sometimes. I'll stop by, and if you don't like this one, I'm sure we can find you another one.
You see, she kind of dips her foot into the water.
Well, this is a lot warmer than the last one. I think I'm going to like it here. Before you leave, I know you all have to leave very quickly. I have something for you. Can I see your hand?
Yeah, they would extend his hand.
Gak puts his hand out and he's like, oh.
You place your hand in hers, and her hand is very small. It fits in your palm. She's a very small individual. She places her hand over yours, clasping them together, and you feel this rush of energy. And the rest of you watch this very faint drip of water kind of come up from behind her, and like almost like air is moving it, and it starts to make its way around your wrist and hers. And you feel this rush of magical energy as she releases it.
Just something to remember me by. You can only use it once per day, but it might come in handy. I don't know. That's all I can do.
And he's like, thank you. What does it do exactly?
When you're around water, actually, just think about moving the water.
I guess he thinks about moving the water.
Okay, so effectively, it's been added to your sheet if you would like to refresh. You have gotten Echo's Blessing. Once per long rest, you can cast Control Water.
Ooh.
So nice! What? Aww. She's so sweet.
So as you think about controlling the water, what do you control it and turn it into as the water kind of bubbles up and actually starts moving as you're looking at it?
He would kind of, like, his innate thing is just thinking about moving it, so it comes up in, like, really sharp spikes, and then kind of, like, fades away when he realizes, oh, shit. But yeah, he would, like, his eyebrows go up, and he's like, that is very cool, Echo.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Well, Seekers of Insomnia, I believe, was your name.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes.
It was nice being on the journey with you. It was nice getting to know you all, even though you didn't know I was getting to know you all. Anyways,
Nice to meet you now.
you as
Better
well,
late
Bazel.
than never.
Yursa, it's weird. It's not weird for you. You've been in front of fey creatures. It's just odd that Vay has had a fey creature
Yeah.
around his
Chilling
wrist.
in his head.
Yeah. And you're actually seeing the physical form of this fey creature.
Yeah.
You've never seen one like this. And you can
Thoroughly
tell.
impressed.
Yeah, you can tell that she seems a little more older than the fey creatures you've run into. Especially, you can tell that she's very magical with what she just did to Vay.
Yeah, yeah.
And she looks to all of you and smiles, and you watch her form just kind of turn into water itself and like turn into a puddle and then just disappear into the lake.
Bye, Echo. Waves.
You see a culmination of the fog clouds turn into a hand as it like waves to you.
Chip, isn't that so cool?
They would turn. He's like, "All right, that was my stop. We can continue on now." I'm
this
sure
was-
I'll be back through to see her again.
I still have to use the restroom, but then we can go back after that.
Maybe not in the
Not
lake
in the
though.
lake.
Yeah. It was nice meeting you.
Zip.
This is what you get for spying on us for the past month.
Okay. So are you guys heading out from Lake Solemn back onto the raised road?
What time is it?
Probably 2 or 3 at this point. You guys have been traveling for hours.
Plenty of time to still get some
Mhm.
distance in, so yeah, I would imagine.
Yeah, forward march.
Okay. So, I will say, as you all are traveling the rest of this day, is there anything else anybody would like to do before you guys settle down for camp?
Not before.
Tree in the
Doesn't-
distance falls.
You hear help, help!
No.
Son of a bitch!
Not again.
I fucking knew it!
Help! My name's not Bro Truck.
It's truck
Truck.
row.
Oh my god, I was about to say that.
Okay.
Anybody doing anything before
My
this
name,
night?
No.
my name
I
is
think the
Lad
answer is
Cab.
No.
My name is Lad Cab. Please help.
My name
No,
is
I'm not doing anything, Jonathan.
No.
My name is
Fellow
Dude
mobile.
Sedan. Please
Okay,
help.
alright, enough.
I like fellow mobile.
Oh my god.
Hey.
Brutal.
Oh man.
My name
I'm gonna
is my
spend
name
hours-
is Guy
I'm gonna spend
SUV.
hours picking out names now and just reading them out loud at least 30 times before I even write them down as an option.
Say them
Ladybug.
different ways too.
Latrine,
Like-
Shatran,
Yeah.
shit, latrine. Fuck. Damn.
Yeah.
No, let's settle.
Okay, good.
Gaggle cast alarm around the camp. Also, I do have a
Hell yeah.
question for you, John.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Now, I was looking into this, and there's a lot of semantics here.
Okay.
What I want to know is alarm covers a 20-foot cube,
Okay.
and it says until the spell ends, like all this stuff. It's not a concentration spell. Technically, can I cast it more than once?
I said, if it's not concentration.
Mm,
Because I was looking at people discussing it online. Because with all of us like sitting around a campfire,
yeah.
a 20-foot cube is just our border, and it does not help alert us to anything. Because someone could stand outside of the cube and stab us with a sword.
I mean, yeah. If you want to use the spell slots, I don't see why not.
Well,
it's
I
rituals.
ritual cast it. Yeah.
Oh shit.
So
Okay.
it takes
Well.
11 minutes. So like, as an example, if I took 33 minutes, then I could have
Cast 3 times.
three 20-foot cubes. And I wanted to
Sure.
ask, okay, because I was like, I know that's like a stretch.
What's
but
the hold on? What's the reach of it?
also,
20-foot cube.
it's a 30
I'll say-
range.
I will say. Let's put a cap on it. Like you can't just
Yes.
like continually cast alarm and create like a mile long like alarm.
That's what I
I'll
wanted to
say the max you can do on is casting time, like we'll say 30 minutes, and you can get like 100 feet around.
Cool. That's awesome. Perfect.
But it's like unbreakable concentration on unbroken concentration of casting it. So the rest of you are like talking while Gak is like, alarm.
Very, very meticulously.
Humana, humana, humana.
Rian, can I
Yeah.
have some of that stuff for my ears? I need to focus.
Yeah. Here you go. Everyone else just sounds.
So as you all,
Parent, like grown-ups talking.
Mhm.
now, okay, so Gak, the road itself is like 25 feet long.
Mm-hmm.
You can alarm the whole road around.
Yeah.
Do you just want to do that instead of like the 100 feet? Because then you'll have to go off into the grass and stuff.
Right. I think since that. So, what does it mean when it says there's a 30-foot range?
I think that's just how far away you are to get the alarm, I think. Is that?
So, no, because it says an audible alarm produces the sound of it produces
1
a sound
mile.
for 10 seconds within 60 feet, and I can hear it within 1 mile. So I think that.
I think
means
you
that
can start casting it within 30 feet.
Yeah.
No?
So would I be able to like stand on the edge of the road and cast 30 feet into it? I don't want this to be game breaking. Please reel it in if it's dumb.
Yeah, I'm thinking, so 20, we're just going to say 100 feet are like, is the max you can do. So that would be what, 50 feet is diameter? No, diameter's all the way across, right? I don't remember math stuff. So it'd be a 50-foot radius.
Okay.
That's the max you can do.
Yeah.
But that
I just
will
want to
take.
do a little bit more, so if someone snuck up on us, it would actually do something.
Yeah, so we'll say that you casted. I mean, you did 25 feet around, so you have a whole circle. What anything that comes onto the road within 25 feet of you is going to proc that alarm. So as this happens, you all gather around the camp. I assume you're camping on the road again tonight.
Yeah.
You all have some time. Well, let me say this: who's first, second, and who's third watch? Let's get the watches out of the way first.
I'll do first watch.
So Gideon,
Basil.
Who's-
Or Basil.
Basil.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, who's second?
I'll do
shall.
second.
All right.
Cool. I wanted to be on watch with they anyway.
Hell yeah.
You guys gonna go for a run today?
That's not happening.
Hey, what do you think the
Okay.
watch is for? We're gonna do burpees in
We're
place.
gonna leave them? Oh
No,
my
we're gonna do
God.
burpees in place.
No.
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 So-
he would be good at them too, because he's got the digigrade legs.
I will say before you guys actually settle down currently for taking watches, you all are around the campfire. Is Gideon or anybody else starting this fire with magic?
Yeah, Gideon would just throw a fire, like a, we get a firebolt so it doesn't just blast a hole into the ground, but yeah.
Yeah, so a couple things. You all are technically, before the watches start, you are around the fire, so that anybody can talk to anybody within the party before I break you off into sections. I would like everyone to roll a general perception or investigation check.
What am I better at? I don't know.
15.
All right,
What
I'll
was
call them.
Perception or what?
Investigation? Is that what you said?
Investigation or perception. It doesn't matter. I'll just call it down so I can write it.
it'll be perception.
Basil,
15.
15. Gideon.
25 investigation, if that makes a difference.
Okay. Was that perception, Basil?
Yes, sorry,
Okay.
perception.
Gak.
18 perception.
Okay. Yursa.
Oh, I was reading Gideon's 19 perception.
Vey.
Dirty 20 for perception.
Okay. And Rian.
It's gonna be an 18 perception.
Okie dokie. Okay, so you all are kind of sitting around the fire, all kind of tending to your various things, getting ready for bed, getting ready for the watches. all of you would notice, or at least have the feeling based on your perceptions and investigation checks. You're around the center of the raised road where Baggin was talking about. And once you guys kind of look around, you can see off of the road, even the road itself has like these like perpetual like blackened marks on the stone itself. There are like craters on the left, the right, in front of you, like these large indents in the ground where something has hit it and left it. There are trees that have actually grown out of these craters at this point.
Ooh, pretty.
And you can also see the moon lilies kind of sparsing around. None of you see what these are, but you can see further into the forests around you, almost like lightning bugs, but very, very dark orange. These like and they're like chest height, where these little like poofs of light kind of flicker in and out in the forest itself, like this darkened forest with this creeping fog that is now settled in again. There are these like little ploofs of orange light that go in and out. But you all are standing around, getting ready. If anyone would like to do anything before you guys start your watches, this would be the perfect time to do so.
Rian's gonna look at Bazel, kind of like do you want me to start, or are you gonna start?
Oh, so we're doing this now. And she's very visibly nervous. It's very common for Bazel to be visibly anxious.
I did not see your message, Rachel. I'm glad we were on the same wavelength, though. That was awesome.
Good. Okay, cool.
Womp womp.
Amazing.
That's awesome.
Thank you, Joe. But yes, so it's not uncommon for Bazel to look visibly anxious about something, but tonight seems very different compared to her normal stress. She looks very worried. She's kind of sweating a little bit, and kind of like in continuous movement. You know how some people do when they get nervous and they just can't seem to stop moving. Could I have everyone's attention, please?
I think Rian would purposely be sitting next to Bazel in this moment and kind of place a hand on her shoulder and give her a nod, like, just breathe. It'll be okay.
Okay. So, Rian already knows a little bit of this, and he had urged me to tell the whole group before we really continued on our journey together. I know it may sound like a lot at first, but please just don't place your judgments until after I've finished. So as many of you may know, I go by Bazel. But that is not my actual name. And she looks over at Rian for like assurance in her face.
And he'll nod.
I haven't told anybody this in, I would say, probably in human years, at least over 50. So I come from Eildon in East of Aria, and My actual name is Siora. I come from House Inafir in Ilden. It's a pretty well-known family in East Varia. I wish I could say for great reasons. Unfortunately, it's not a family to look up to, if I'm being honest. There are a lot of things that I've kept hidden in my life. My family does not know where I am, and they haven't in decades, human decades. I escaped. I will say it was for my. I was worried for my life, and that's why I had escaped. And I don't think they currently know where I am. I hope not. I try to keep some tabs on them, as you would with family. But I don't know much more than the surface level. But it's so funny. You know how you grow up and you have such this bright outlook on life, and the only scary things you believed in were, you know, loud noises, monsters under your bed, in the shadows. Life seemed so easy then. But then I got older, and I learned things. And then you realize that monsters do exist, and they live in your home, and call themselves father. He was not a nice man. He still isn't. You see, he's a commander in the Ilden army, a military. Ever since I've known him, he's wanted to grow to become a grand marshal in the council. He has a funny way of going about it. He never really tried to grow in respectable ways. He has committed many crimes. Some of them are basic things like paying people off, bringing prisoners of war home without telling anybody, trying to do away with them in our basement, sometimes force my sister and I to partake. And I know so many things about him because I've always been so nosy, so sneaky, and interested in his business when I didn't need to be. And he's threatened to cut off my tongue, my eyes, my ears to make sure that I just can't be Snoop anymore. That I wouldn't have any chance of ruining the family image for things that he has done. And it's not even the worst part, though. So, I don't know if any of you have heard of the name Sadira Craft.
Have we?
Gideon, Vey, and Yursa. would have all heard this name. About, let me make sure my timeline's right. About 15 years ago, there was an attack on East Varia, specifically the capital city of Alden, by an ex-casted out Grand Marshal named Sadira Kraft, who raised an army of undead and attacked the city, and then attacked one of these smaller cities known as Ladun. They were stopped, or she was stopped, and destroyed. Well, her army was, and her general was, by a old group of heroes that Gideon would know very much about, the Seven. She was driven off, and no one's heard from her ever since. But it was a huge thing in history 15 years ago, where the Sadira Craft tried to take control of the entire kingdom of Isvaria with an undead army.
I'm sorry, just to clarify, who is this in relation to, Basil?
Her father.
I don't think she said. Oh.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, Sadira isn't.
Oh, okay.
Oh, Sadira's not. Yeah.
Oh,
I
okay.
think Basil was getting to this point.
Sorry,
Yeah.
sorry.
Nick, there's no hand.
My brain is exploding with information.
You can do it, Rachel.
Jesus.
Leaving you.
Sadira
my
Craft
God.
has showed up.
I'm sorry.
Next second, let me go help.
No, I got it. It's dead. It's dead. Seduti. You can sit down. Okay. Okay. We're cool. I'm cool. So Basil relayed all of that information to them about, assuming that, Vey, Yursa, and Gideon didn't really pitch in any information. She just kind of gave a brief backstory about all of that and what had happened. So that happened, and unfortunately many lives were lost. Many years before that happened, before I had even left Eildon, I decided to sneak into my father's study, as I usually did, and he had these documents on his table, and I remember because they were written in Sylvan, and there were signed ledgers about plotting to overthrow the throne of East Varia with Sadira Craft. And that it was her idea, but she was in works with my father to help her. And then there was a list of a few officers who were also involved. I believe their names were... There was a long list, but I can only remember a few. There was Sigil Demira, Vandren Terrell, and the Broker. That's all I remember. But it was quite a long list.
I would like to point out Yursa as the name Vandarin. Terrell is listed off. You remember a very slimy armored man who went by that name before you were taken.
Yikes.
But they were involved. They were never good men, but I just thought that all of them weren't good men. But like I said, I read all of these documents and signed ledgers from my father, and I had proof. I had proof that he was planning on helping her. And it happened. At least I believe he helped her because she did actually try to overthrow the throne of East Varia and take over Eldon. But my father, he's still in his same rank. He's, as far as I know, he hasn't been reprimanded or anything, and I didn't say anything. I had all of this information, and I just ran away. I didn't tell anybody. And I knew that it was going to happen, too. But I was more concerned about escaping than telling anybody. But my father doesn't know I know this information. Only the other random things that I've caught him doing. But I'm not welcome in East of Aria. And honestly, like I was telling Rianne a few days ago, we thought it would be best if I were to tell all of you now, just so that you were aware of everything, and especially now since we're getting kind of closer to East of Aria territory. And I will respect anyone's opinion if they wish to not continue traveling with me.
Well, I won't speak for anyone else, Bazel. Or would you prefer Bazel, or...
Please keep Bazel. I haven't gone by Siora in a long time, and frankly, it's probably still dangerous to go by Siora, because we never know what ears are listening.
Of course. Well, I won't speak for everyone else, Bazel, but even knowing all the facts now, my opinion hasn't changed. I'm by your side till the end, and I don't blame you for running. You're one person with a name. Who knows what you could have done, if anything. I don't blame you for getting away. If anything, I'm thankful for it, because you're here with us now. And I'll kind of clap his hand on her hand and squeeze and give her a nod.
Just could have helped so many people. You could have done something. And I left. And I haven't said a thing since. Even after it happened, I could have said...
You can't burden yourselves with what-ifs and with maybes. All it does is hurt. All you need to do is strive to make a difference every day. It might be small. You might not be helping those people at all on any given day, but as long as you're striving towards that end goal, that's all anyone can ask of you.
You see, Yrsa has done her very, very best to not, but she has like a lot of tears just kind of streaming down her face. I think that Rianne has said some very important words, and words that I very much agree with. I just need to go for a small walk, if you all will excuse me. And she's gonna get up and just kind of walk away for a little bit.
I think Rianne would definitely get up to follow her, especially knowing what's making her so upset. Not even saying anything, but just... He'll look at...
Gideon would just grab a torch and put a magical fire on it.
Yeah. Thank you. And he'll speed up a little bit to catch up with Yrsa, so she's not walking in the haunted grounds without magical fire.
Yeah.
And he won't say anything. He'll just place a hand around her shoulder and just be there.
She's gonna probably walk a significant, chunk away.
Mm-hmm.
She'll stay on the road, but she's gonna probably walk a little ways away.
I'll say.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, as the two of you kind of start walking off, we can pan back to the rest of the group, and we'll come back to Yrsa and Brienne. As Gak, Vey, and Gideon kind of sit around Bazel, taking in all of this new information. I just want to continue to talk.
Why are you telling us this?
Because I don't want you guys to get hurt. And like I told Rian, while sometimes ignorance can be the best chance, in this case I don't think it is. So if anyone were to come looking for me or asking about me, it's best that you know the reason, and you can deny knowing me, anyone like me, and keep yourself safe. And I wanted to be fair to you. I didn't want you to find out the wrong way, and I thought it was more moral to just tell you now and let you make your own judgments.
Does your father have something to do with this black sludge?
I have no idea. I swear I have no idea.
I hate to do it. Do I believe her?
I would say there's no insight check needed. Yeah, you believe
Okay.
her. She does not know.
Okay, carry on.
Like I said, I haven't been with my family in so long, and I only keep very shallow knowledge of them. My father, his name is Rolim, and it's a pretty common, it's a pretty well-known name in East Varia news. So, as far as I know, he wouldn't have anything to do with it.
The shifting in the chairs.
I know. I like ruin it.
Another tree falls in the distance.
Help! Help!
I hate you guys so
Going
much.
back into the scene.
I would say that Vey is staying fairly quiet. He's pretty blank. Like, you can see he's obviously trying to hide his expression, but his eyes are very sharp, I guess the word would be. He's not saying anything. He's just kind of looking around, I guess. And yeah, he's gonna keep quiet.
Gak is kind of he's looking at everybody that's still here, and he's just trying to peg how they're feeling.
Okay. Make an insight check, and then we can Vey and Gideon and Bazel. Oh geez, if you want to roll against that, it would be if you're trying to kind of like shelter in your feelings and not let them be seen, you can roll deception. Okay.
Actually, fits very much.
If you're just trying to keep your emotions kind of to yourself, you can also roll a contested insight, I guess. But with the 21, I mean, we're just gonna go around the table, and you're gonna tell Gak how your character is feeling currently, because with 21, it's a pretty damn good insight. So, how is Basil at this moment currently feeling?
So seeing Yursa react that way, Vey hasn't said anything. Hasn't said anything. Gideon has only asked like one or two questions. Basil's not doing so well. She is feeling, like I said in the chat, very disheartened. This is the first time she's ever she's told anybody in over 50 years. And she was really adamant on telling everybody after her conversation with Rian, because this is the first friends she's had in a long time, and she's very scared of abandonment, which is why she's just been alone, because you don't get abandoned if you just don't meet people. So she is kind of slowly going into a little spiral, because it feels like some of her biggest fears is coming out, and you could probably get the sense of she's ready to just pack up and leave at any minute, because she feels like no one wants her there anymore.
Oh, I'm
So
crying.
she might be she might be what do they call it, flight risk.
Yeah. Vey, how is Vey currently feeling right now?
He's a pretty stoic creature, but I think Gak would he's not hiding it very well from Gak, and I think it actually makes sense, because Gak would have seen this expression on Vey's face before when Gak maimed Eldar. It's this combination of anger and disgust and frustration. And you can see that he's also very much trying to reel it in, because he kind of set his shoulders. He knows it's not helpful. And the people who normally mitigate problems are not here right now. So he's choosing to stay quiet.
Gideon, how's Gideon feeling?
I think as Gak looks over to Gideon, he kind of sees that Gideon's kind of looking down, probably towards the fire rather than at anyone directly. And Gak's seen Gideon focus and think enough that his eye just kind of slightly moves while he's processing all of this information. And so he's doing that thing where Gideon is overthinking and he's analyzing everything that Bazel has said, and he doesn't know how he's supposed to feel. And so he's very confused, and he's trying to figure it out in his head, and he's probably a little frustrated that he doesn't know what the right thing to do here is or say, because he just doesn't know.
Well, Gak, that's what you get from
Okay.
those sitting there.
Hey, 21 insight, love it.
Yeah.
After Gak's looking around at everybody, he's gonna stand up, and then he's just gonna walk over to Bazel and put his arm out for a hug. Put his arms out for a hug.
Bazel is just gonna slowly creep her way into Gak's arms.
Yeah. He'll hug Bazel and go,
Hey, I know you're scared. But hey, it seems like everyone here is secretly another person. So I'm not that surprised anymore. And we'll be okay. We protect each other here. Sorry, I'm still thinking about You said your dad's in the army?
He's yes, he's a commander in the Golden Guard in Ilden. He wants to become a Grand Marshal of the Council.
Right. That's all coming in and out. I'm not getting any of that. And I'm sure I'll be able to figure it out when we talk more about it. But whatever happens when we go to Vay's house and talk to Vay's family, if we ever have to talk to your family, which I hope we don't, we're okay, and we'll make sure that we've got each other's backs. So you don't have to be worried. I know that we fight sometimes in the group, and we don't agree with stuff. But I think we've done a pretty good job of waiting a bit and thinking about it and being able to help each other and love each other despite not agreeing on stuff. So we'll be okay even if people are confused, because we all got each other's backs.
And Gak just kind of smiles and looks around at everybody.
Trying to avoid the crowd. I appreciate that, Gak. I do. I think we should hold on to that thought until the morning while everyone thinks if they want me to continue this journey. I think I may need a few minutes to myself. And Bazel slowly slips out of his grasp and...
Torch.
Huh?
Torch.
Torch.
Yeah. She, like, grabs it.
Stay on the road.
She, like, picks up some of her stuff, and as she's leaving, she turns around. If you want to view me as a villain, that's fine. And if you're still looking for redeeming qualities, I guess good luck. But besides that, I have always been honest about who I am. And that's why I'm always so adamant on running first into battle, because I did the opposite. And that eats me alive every day of my life. And I respect if you don't want to continue with me. But please know that I'm not a bad person. And she slowly turns around and walks in the opposite direction of Rian and Yrsa. And she's gonna just go talk to some spirits, because other people have bad shit happen, so she wants to talk to them about it.
Oh, John, you muted yourself, not unmuted yourself.
As Bazel walks off, leaving behind Gak, Vay, and Gideon to ponder information that was just given to them, we pan back to Rian and Yrsa. Yrsa, you were walking forward, kind of into the darkness as the light of the camp kind of leaves a little bit. You can still see it in the distance, but it's not as bright, illuminating around you. You can see those orange firelights in the forest kind of popping in and out as Rian catches up to you.
Yrsa is going to step off the path because she wants to sit in grass. Right next to the road. She's not going skydiving out there. She's just going to literally sit right off the path and in the little patch of grass if she can.
Okay.
Nah, Joe has fire. It's okay. He has magic fire.
And
She'll make grass on the road.
Just druid craft. Okay, you know what? That makes everybody feel better. She'll druid craft
Some grass on the road. Just a little patch. But as she kind of gets to her stopping point, she's just gonna sit on the ground She's kind of like holding onto her worry not bracelet, and she's just gonna cry.
Rian.
Why are we all so sad?
Rian will take a seat down next to her, and just sitting side by side, place an arm around her shoulder, and just be there in the same way that she was there for him so many, many nights when the two of them first met.
Cry for probably a solid 5 minutes. And then eventually she's just gonna say, you know, I could never be mad or upset with Basil ever. And none of this is her fault. And I will tell her this, because I hope she did not take this the wrong way. It's just hearing that man's name. Derlin or whatever. He is the one who put me inside that cage. For so long. It was 10 years of my life where I was torn away from everything and everyone. I sat in that darkness and I withered away. With no sunlight. With nothing. And all of my people and my friends and my family and these sweet, sweet creatures, they suffered. And I couldn't do anything. And it just... A wound closes. It'll heal. But some things just don't ever fade away. And she kind of like pushes up the little bracelets on her arms, and you can still see the little dark wilting marks from where the chains were around her wrist.
I understand. I do. I still remember the day that I arrived in Lunaria. When Yelendor and Willow fought back to free you. I remember that day so clearly. I remember seeing you finally free. The way you looked then compared to the way you look now. I know it's hard, and I know that some things may never grow back, but nature always finds a way, Yrsa. Look at the ruins around us. Can't almost even tell they're here anymore. Nature returned. Nature reclaimed what was taken from it. And you will do the exact same thing. That man is vile and horrendous for what he did to you. And I know that you don't need me to get that revenge, but I will be with you every step of the way. I promise. And I made that promise the day I asked to accompany you on this journey. It may hurt now, And I don't know when that pain will go away. You know I still feel that pain of my wife and my son. But every day it gets easier. And one day, and he kind of takes her wrists, lightly touching the marks that are wilted. One day these marks will go away. You won't need to wear the bracelets anymore. One day, the scars of yesterday will finally go away. And nature will reclaim what it's owed.
When did you get so wise?
Well, I had a really good teacher.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And he'll hug your son.
Yeah, she'll give him a hug back. But I need to. Bazel is the one who needs comforting the most.
Yes, yeah. And Rian will stand and gesture out a hand to help Yrsa up.
And she'll take it. And she is gonna try to find Bazel.
Okay. Well, as you are walking back to the group, we're going to cut over to Bazel, who is far away from the party, on the road by herself. Bazel, as you look around, the light of the campfire behind you, again, still visible, but it does not cast any light where you currently are. The only thing casting light around you is the torch given to you by Gideon. And you can see, again, those orange glows in the distance of the forest. There are also very strange sounds going on within the forest that it's hard to ascertain what they would be. And you kind of sit there in this wave of emotion, kind of almost like a waterfall comes over you, and you hear with your passive perception the grass to your right kind of cracks, and you look over and you see a shadowy form, female, and most everything is obscured by darkness and shadow, blending in with the night behind her. It's hard to recognize the face, but you do hear,
Hello, my child.
Hi. How are you?
Seem to be better than you. What is wrong?
I'm on top of the world, can't you tell? Making friends left and right, losing them, just the same. I told them what had happened. And they hate me. And I don't know what to do.
That was very brave of you. I'm sure that whatever feelings they have will be temporary. No one could hate you.
Are you joking?
Not at all. I just do. Would you mind, coming a little closer?
Basil, she's having a sad moment, but so the Raven Queen has shown herself, shown herself to Basil before, right?
Correct.
And then this shadowy figure is just staying shadow, not even.
For the most part, the body again is dark and black, as the Raven Queen usually looks. Especially, well, I would have to specify that the Raven Queen has never shown herself to you in a physical, on this plane form.
Okay. Because
You've
I
seen-
don't want to offend her if it is her, but also at the same time, we're in kind of a spooky area, so I don't want to just believe any random
You
shadow.
can make an insight check if you would like.
Okay, I don't want to if it is her, I don't want to. Oh.
Again, you've never seen the Raven Queen in a form like this on this plane of existence, so you're not entirely sure. Yes, you are in a very spooky area, but you're not entirely sure that, you can trust this currently. It seems, it sounds, it looks like the Raven Queen, to the best of your knowledge.
I feel like with all of my emotions right now, it would make me feel better if we got closer on the road.
This road has very powerful magics. I cannot step foot.
Why are you not able to? You're a god.
Bazel, I need you
Oh no.
to make a wisdom saving throw.
Oh no. I fucking knew something was sus.
Oh, good. Good job. Good job, Queen.
You watch as the visage of what looks like the Raven Queen morphs a little bit with the shadow around it, and the face almost turns skeletal and kind of grows these almost like twig antlers. These antlers made of branches and wood upon a very shadowy skeletal face, and emanating from the face, from inside, is this very fire-like light from the mouth and the eyes. And I will show you.
Okay.
See, where is it at? I gotta post it in art because I don't have it on here. You see this?
Not trust.
Oh my god. That's kind of cool though.
You then hear it speak as the mouth opens, and it almost like a crackling fire in a fireplace. You see these spatters of ash kind of coming out of its mouth.
Of course your friends don't love you.
Sean, why is it so scary? I'm sorry. Okay. Can you
You should be. Of course, your friends do not love you. You should be feeling like this. Don't worry. You'll join me in the forest soon enough.
And it dissipates into the background. and you look closer into the forest. And at this point, I would say that Yursa and Rian, you were walking up. If anybody else wanted to,
Did we see that or no?
Yeah, that's what I was just about to ask.
I would say that you saw a very, very faint glimpse of the face kind of go into the forest. Bazel, as you're looking around, as you are taken back by this whole scenario, those little flickering of lights that you see that look like firelights, they have form. They are these shadow skeleton-looking figures that from the rib cage look like fire is burning from their ribs and mouth and eyes. And they kind of look like this.
Ugh.
Oh my god.
You immediately remember what Bagan had said about the cinder spirits, as those who want to catch up with Bazel do at this point. And you did see the creature kind of dissipate back. You didn't hear what it said.
If you were to walk up, Basil's just like still sitting in the middle of the road, just like, this is gonna sound like she just saw a ghost, you know? Just like completely pale in the face, you know, never seen anything like this, and just feeling super like emotionally, yes, it worked, and it was fucking scary, John. And I think just like a mixture of what she just said and then thinking she was seeking assistance from the Raven Queen, and then it happened to be this really evil entity. She's very like
Done.
she's not up
Yeah.
for it.
Oh.
Yursa will just immediately sit on the ground and
Yeah, Rian will kneel and kind of like very alert, looking around in the woods. Yeah, keeping an eye out, but still present in the conversation.
Are you alright?
Said I would join them in the woods.
Wait, what did?
The Cinder Spirit.
Oh, God. And Rian's gonna like reach into his bag and he's gonna like take out those like cloth pieces of cloth, and he's gonna hand them to Bazel and Yursa. We need to get back to the camp. They said those things would try and talk to us, try and make us hear things, see things.
John, the Cinder Spirits, so I did make that wisdom saving throw, but is it like when they still talk to you, is it kind of like you believe them kind of thing? Or
I would say it's pretty, I mean, the conversation was pretty intense. Like, this thing made itself look like your god, and it somehow knew that you follow the Raven Queen. And it tried to convince you to come into the forest. And when you said no, it tried to overpower your will. And you felt that.
okay. So if it already like knew kind of who Bazel was and stuff, she probably will believe that it knows what people are thinking or feeling. At least that's what Basil's going through right now. She's probably like, wow, I mean, they're terrible, but I mean, yeah, what if my friends do hate me, you know? So,
Yursa will help Basil up, and like, she'll nod to Rian, but making sure Basil's okay is more important to Yursa. She'll die by a cinder spirit, I guess. So she'll like immediately start kind of like wiping away Basil's tears as best she can. And she's gonna make little flowers appear on her head. I just wanted to make one thing very clear. She's kind of trying really hard to look you dead in the eye. You are very much loved here. You are very much needed. And no matter what you did or did not do, that doesn't define who you are in this moment and the good that you have done. You cannot control the actions of others. Do you understand that?
Basil slowly nods. You can tell she's listening, but she's still not fully present.
It's going to be okay. I promise.
Yes, I absolutely agree, and I think that while this is beautiful, I think we need to get back to the camp before more of those creatures try and talk to the other three.
You're just gonna hug Basil.
All right. It's very beautiful, but come on, let's go.
Gerson will take Basil by the hand.
Oh, that was so sweet.
I will say, as you guys are walking back, Gideon, Vey, and Gak, I would like you all to make wisdom saving throws.
Oh.
God damn it!
Are we getting talked to? Is
I'm
something
sorry.
talking? Or are we just going insane?
Damn. 3.
Oh. Wait,
Oh.
what's my modifier? Wait, 21.
Okay. You all.
The new D20 is really good, Jonathan. I appreciate you.
Yeah, it's weighted. Just the three of you are kind of looking in the direction of where Rian, Yursa, and Basil are currently, kind of just wondering what's going on. You can hear the murmurs. All of you can still see those flickers of firelight in the forest. Gideon, you swear that in the forest itself, you see a gentleman walk by in a very dirty, somewhat bloody lab coat with balding hair and these goggles affixed to his face. Very wrinkly, long face with these gloves on as they just look at you. And you immediately realize where you are, and that visage of this man disappears. Gak, you look over and you see your mom and dad just standing in the forest. They look like they're happy and smiling, and they're looking at you and kind of like gesturing you to come over. And you realize where you are, and it does not take effect. And you watch as their visage just kind of like dispersing fog into the tree line. Vey, you see Ada in the tree line. There's this table next to him, and he's kind of working on things, and he looks over and kind of like gestures you to come over. And again, you realize exactly where you are. And all of that just dissipates. With the history checks that Vey and Gideon made, you wouldn't know this guy. Good. It makes sense. The center of the raised road is probably the most dangerous area in the entirety of the raised road. And you quickly realize most of this trip you've seen other camps like hundreds of feet away. There are no one camped in this area. And you can tell the area, and I forgot to describe that, the trees look like they are, the further in, they are petrified. There are leaves that almost look like glass in a way, that are just affixed to these branches that don't move or sway in the wind. They are dead. And this whole area is very creepy, I guess would be the word. Vey and Gideon. Vey, because of going through the library and just reading tomes over time during your studies. Gideon, just with your wanting to gain more knowledge of the world as a whole. The raised road, all of you have heard, is this road that used to be this ancient civilization, right? That's why there's a cobblestone road and why there are so many ruins. It used to be a massive city. During what is considered and written in history as the Calamity, which was this war between the gods, between the betrayer gods and the prime deities. Deities like Pelor and Melora, fighting these betrayer gods. Like, well, for one instance, the two of you would know. This is said to be the central area where Pelor and the Lord of the Nine Hells, Asmodeus, fought each other. And Asmodeus was thrown back into the pits of hell here. And you kind of ascertain, and you guys can finally see that these firelights that are in this tree line are exactly what they saw. They are these shadowy, skeletal visages of humanoid creatures with this fire inside of their chests, emanating from their mouth and eyes. It's hard to ascertain what exactly has happened to these people. And you can see, like, in these shadowy figures, like, there's, like, armor that's kind of just, like, burnt and, like, melded into the skin itself. There are, like, remnants of what these people probably used to be, like farmers or guards or whatever they were. But in the instance that this fight happened, created this place and these spirits that are known as the Cinder Spirits. And at this point, as you all have seen these visages of memories and people that you know that are trying to grab you and bring you into the forest, that is when Rian, Yrsa, and Bazel get back to the camp.
Jonathan, this is more mechanical. Vey is gonna divine sense, just to get a sense if these are infernal or if they're undead, basically. Yeah, and
Okay.
he's just going to stand and touch the tip of his sword to the ground, and like frost kind of goes out in a ring.
You get both.
Yep.
Wow, just
Not to just be
No,
super
no,
generic,
no,
but
no,
they...
no.
Whatever happened here killed everybody and also created
Like,
these
amalgamated.
horrible creatures of whatever these things are.
I got you. It's just terrible, right?
Yeah.
I think as Knight, was that it?
Yeah, that's
Okay,
all I
all right, cool. As Rian would get back, he would say, so, judging from the way that they look as they're sort of gazing out into the forest, he would come back and see, so it seems as though they've called out to you as well. Listen, I don't know if it's going to help. Bazel was spoken to. All of us understand that nothing in that forest is something we want. We understand that right now. These things may try to talk to us, they may try to convince us. It might not help since they're magical creatures, but at this point I'm willing to try anything. I don't know if it'll help, but at least a little. I don't have any beeswax, I prefer to use that, but I made these earlier, and he'll pass out the little cloth tabs. They'll muffle sound, so if a creature tries to speak to you to convince you, just ignore it. We all know we're here for each other right now. That's what's important. The six of us are the only things that matter right now. Whatever is out in that forest is not real. Do we all follow?
And I would like you to make a wisdom saving throw.
Oh, this is going to be tragic. This is going to be low. I can feel it. I can feel it. I mean, he's got +3. Okay, that's a 12 + 3. That's 15.
Rian, as you're talking, and you're saying this, behind the entire party, not only do you hear a voice in your head, but you see just a burning building. And you hear,
Look what you've done. You left them. They are there because of you.
Rian, you feel a very strong need to run towards that building. You watch, everybody watches as Rian stops talking and is looking behind you all. You all look, you see nothing.
Can we put our earbuds in?
Yeah, you can start doing it.
Also, do I need to make a perception check to realize that Rian's like being talked to?
Not being talked to. There's nothing around Rian. Rian, this was all in your head.
Rian. She'll snap in front of his face.
He doesn't
Rian,
budge.
you really gotta go.
Yeah, he
Yours
is
says
going to immediately, as soon as it says that,
hold
it's
person.
okay. If that,
If he starts running, she's holding person.
well, and that's what I was gonna say. He was gonna use his action surge to dodge,
bitch.
and then
You
use
bitch.
his real action to dash to try and run in.
You can't dodge
Yeah, I
my
can't dodge
spell,
spell.
doll. Not in this household.
Well, to use the dodge action. Okay. So wisdom saving throw on hold person.
Give me that wisdom saving throw.
Okay. Oh, here, to make this more exciting, I'll do it with this.
Fail, please. It's not loading on my end.
No,
You
So-
bitch.
Oh, fuck that.
I'll cast it again. I don't care. If yours feels like it doesn't take step, I'll waste another one.
Okay, I'll say as yours is trying to cast again. Everyone else, what are you doing? Rian is.
Yeah.
Bazel.
Gak, you go.
Oh, I was just gonna say. Quick question: who looks like the most vulnerable right now? So we have.
Technically, Rian.
I mean, okay, I'm trying to think of who rolled low.
I will say, everyone who's made a wisdom saving throw cannot be affected by this for the next 24 hours.
Okay.
Unfortunately,
Bazel-
just to be transparent, the DC was 16, so Rian, you did fail. With that
Okay.
15.
Because
Did
Gak rolled.
your son?
Yep.
Everybody else rolled. Okay. Did Yursa make a wisdom saving?
She has
No.
not yet.
Okay. Basil is going to bless both Yursa and Rian.
Two eye.
You pick one more person.
Oh, if you bless Rian, it'll help him not
It's gonna help
pass
him get
my.
away.
Yeah, don't bless Rian, because then he'll
Sorry?
pass my save. If you bless Rian, it'll give him added that D4. He could
Oh,
add
yeah.
it to my hold person to beat that.
Shit! Right? I was only thinking about it in terms of
No.
wisdom save.
Absolutely, you're totally fine. I just want him to fail.
Yeah, no.
He's already failed the save.
Okay, but I didn't. I mean, that's true.
Mhm.
So, like, if you fail once, you can't like do a save. Like, if they were to like try to do a wisdom saving throw again,
We don't know
We
right
don't
now.
know.
I will say we've paused time. Rian is past most of you at this point, and you're like, we're gonna go around the table. I'll just go around the table so it's less chaotic.
Okay.
Vey, are you doing anything?
Yes, so Vey is going to instantly try to, if Rian gets past him, he's going to run after him. He's going to mentally command Kova to try to intercept him because she's faster, and he's going to try to tackle Rian when he gets close to Rian, is what he's going to try to do.
Rian is definitely going to try to get out of said tackle, so athletics versus athletics.
Oh, fucking Christ. My athletics is good. I'm gonna... Please.
I will say, Vey, I will
Please.
say with advantage because Kova is helping.
Probably unnecessary at this point.
Yeah.
Well, he could.
Do I have
roll one.
advantage because I took the dodge action?
You do.
Holy shit!
Natural 20?
Yes!
Oh, that was a wisdom save anyway. But those are
Okay,
two twos.
so, Vey, you're gonna tackle Rian for sure.
I would.
Let me. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I think that Rian running, like, he had that first initial dodge, and then I think that he kind of almost would have, like, it would have been a gut reaction, and then not stopping because everybody told him or was yelling at him or trying to catch him, but I think he would have stopped in fear getting close to the fire. Explaining the two, which is why he stopped in fear, realizing he couldn't do it, which is what made it so easy for Vey to end up tackling him.
Oh
Okay.
no.
Let me ask this question, Vey. When you tackle him, do you want to tackle him with enough force to deal damage?
Not necessarily. Like, he's trying to grab him and get him on the ground and hold him down.
It's up to you.
Yeah, no, he's not trying to hurt Rian.
Okay.
Like, accidentally,
Yeah.
if that were to happen.
I'll say Rian, you're on the ground,
Okay.
grappled by Vey.
Mhm.
Gak.
one of the reasons I asked if I needed to make a perception check to see, as soon as Rian would start running, Gak was going to cast Lightning Lure on him. To
Okay.
try and
Shit out of
grab him. So I guess maybe he like does it at Rian's feet as he gets tackled to the ground.
Yeah, I would say Vey comes up and kind of almost picks Rian up off the ground, and like you start kind of tripping forward a little bit, Vey. You're both going down. You tackled him. That's what was said. So you are going to both go prone.
Yeah.
I'll just say that the lightning lure, if it hits, will help with the pronage. So go ahead and roll lightning lure on. The
Yeah,
pronage.
Pronage. The pronage.
The target has to succeed a strength saving throw or be pulled 10 feet in a straight line toward me.
I would say, Rian, you are I know grapple just makes your movement 0. But for the sake of this, we're going to say you have a strength save at disadvantage against his lightning lure.
Ooh.
Okay. What's
Yeah,
the DC, Gak?
14.
Okay, so Rian, you fail.
Yeah.
And gets pulled 10 feet towards me. How does that work with Vey?
I'll say 5
It's
feet.
dragged
Roll
And then-
damage.
Yeah.
Well, how close are they? Because it only does damage if he ends up within 5 feet of me.
Oh.
Yeah, he would definitely end up within 5 feet of you. You guys are like in this like circle together.
Yeah.
Okay, so then yeah, it's 1d8 of damage for lightning damage.
Okay.
Rian, I would like you to make another wisdom saving throw.
Yes,
Wisdom save.
that is what I want.
Ooh.
14.
No.
Yeah, with that, as he's like scraping into the ground now, you would just hear him like scream out at the fire. Zach! Just crawling, trying to move his way towards the fire.
All right.
Gideon.
Gideon's turn. So I mean, clearly he's still under the effect. Like, since like Vey has a hold of him, Gideon just kind of like walks over and looks down. Sorry about this, and he just lifts his foot and just kicks him in the head.
Oh my god!
My God!
I can shoot a firebolt at him and do 30 damage.
You
Vey
could-
is holding him. Oh my God!
Go
I
ahead and
don't
roll.
think you guys
with
realize
the-
how dangerous every other option Gideon has is. This
I
is the most.
know.
This is very
This was the
tame.
nicest thing he could do.
God, you could kick him in the stomach. Jesus, his
I mean,
head?
Gideon seems to try to like knock him out so that he's not even able to
Yeah.
like
The
succumb.
stomach is just. Yeah, the stomach's just gonna hurt Rian.
Yeah.
Not gonna-
Rian's
Trying
gonna
to
wake up
save
from
your
the
life.
fire, one less
and
tooth.
keep him alive.
yeah.
Go ahead
I'm
and
not trying to make him
welcome
hit
back,
0.
Kayla.
Hello.
Gideon's about to kick Rian in the face.
Well, almost
Roll an
got
attack
me.
with advantage because he's on the ground.
19.
Yeah, that hits.
That's
Roll
a smack
damage.
in the face.
Okay. So
It's unarmed, obviously. So
yeah, I mean, I don't even need to roll. It's just 1 plus
Roll.
strength, right?
Roll to have
Yeah.
him pass out, whatever that.
Yeah.
number was.
So
It's not gonna
that's
make him pass
3
out.
damage.
Oh,
Rian, make another wisdom saving throw.
Jesus.
Yes.
Just keep punching him
Nope.
until he passes.
Until he.
Yeah,
passes.
Rian's gonna try and break free out of Vey's grasp.
Did my hold person go off?
He passed it. He
passed
beat
it.
it.
But I cast it again. Second
Oh
time?
yeah, make another wisdom saving throw for old person.
We gave everyone else a turn.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to.
Wow,
I think I succeeded.
You roll real well when you don't want to be held by your
Yeah.
own team.
Are you fucking serious? You're annoying. Get out.
Okay, I guess that's athletics versus athletics again against Rian versus Vey.
Fuck this.
21.
Fuck.
Okay, yours is gonna turn into a bear,
Yeah,
and she's gonna go after his big ass.
What's it?
I don't think it's 13 plus 5. I don't think it's enough.
18.
That's
now.
18.
Damn.
Oh.
All right.
I was gonna say, assuming yours is doing it too, but like, if Gak's right there, he's probably gonna just dogpile.
Yeah. We all could just dogpile. Punch him until he passes out.
I'll just say, obviously everyone can tell, but dealing damage to Rian will let him make a save every time. Just
Yeah.
so everyone
like-
knows.
As he's trying to get out, could I headbutt him with my fucking horns?
Yeah, fuck yeah, you can.
Like I did to Elf. Yeah. So he's gonna, as people dogpile, he's gonna do that. He's gonna like really hard, just like
we
Headbutt
knock
him.
Bay's head
Wake
into
the
Rand.
fuck up! And just
Get kicked in the face, headbutted.
we got Bursa, we got Gak, and
Let me. What is my unarmed attack?
Bazel and Gideon are just standing there going.
I also just want to say
wanna
I
get
thought
in
that
there with Bear.
I thought up to this point Rian would have succeeded already. So
Right.
It's gonna be black and
It
blue.
makes sense considering what you put in front of him.
Cure
Well, you-
wounds won't do anything. Like, we can't purify his ears.
Do inflict
No.
wounds.
Inflict wounds would be more helpful.
Make another wisdom saving throw, Rian. You take 6 points of bludgeoning damage.
Oh, he hit me? Okay.
She kicked your ass.
Okay.
Thank
God.
No.
Okay.
No. Use your real dice.
And what? Lie
Can-
about it?
Yes.
What Basil?
Can Basil pray to the actual Raven Queen and just be like, bitch, please cast divine energy or something?
So did I break out of the grapple?
Oh, you did, yeah.
Okay.
Oh my god, okay.
I'm biting
She's gonna
him.
pray real hard, real
Okay.
fast.
So hold on, everything's happening so fast.
I know.
There's a bear on top of him, and he goes.
just to raise the stakes even more and make it even a more horrible situation, Rian, you hear in your head.
You're almost there.
Nah, man. Biting his whole ass off.
Bear bite.
My whole ass?
Yeah,
Girl, I
man.
need that. Rian's worked hard on that ass.
Not
The
this
Alaskan
house.
bullworm.
Am I still
Yeah.
allowed to reach out to the Raven Queen?
Yeah, religion check.
Okay.
All right,
Okay,
roll.
I swear to God, if this doesn't.
Roll an attack, Bear Ursa.
Oh, yes. Okay.
Basil just hears, use inflict wounds.
I don't have a
No.
prepared.
Basil, as all of this is happening, you try to reach out to the Raven Queen. You get nothing.
Excuse me? That was a 21.
I understand.
Oh, shit.
The energy that is around this place currently, especially with what's happening with Rian, as something as this fiendish and malevolent has taken control, reaching out to your deity is almost nearly impossible.
But what do I do if I don't have anything useful prepared?
You could kick him, but you're gonna you're gonna bite him, Ursa.
That beautiful moment of reflection. Hey, kick him.
It is a 17.
Miss.
You're annoying. I don't want to play with you anymore.
Okay. Okay, Andy. Thanks.
Wait. I'm a bear. I have multi-attack. Fuck you. I'm gonna scratch the... 19. 20. Dirty 20.
That hits.
Of a +6 to my bite
Rana
or
would
my
like you to
claw.
use your shield. No, I'm just kidding.
I wouldn't make the difference anyway. 9 points of damage.
Claw. What do you
Take
have to
another
pass?
wisdom saving throw.
Remember how you passed both my hold persons? Can you do that now?
Oh, fucking finally.
Rian, even though Vey, Gideon, Gak, and Basil have all been attempting to kick you out of this, some quite literal, as soon as Ursa turns into the bear form and bites you, there's this like snap in your mind, and you snap out of this control. And the building before you is not there.
Ursa's gonna bear hug him, but nicely. And then not be a bear anymore. And then just hug him normal.
As soon as that happens, Gak runs up to Ursa and hands her, even though she already has some, is just like, put these in your ears.
She will put them in her ears. Immediately.
And Rian will do the same. And I think that, to spare my neighbors and Kayla since she's in the same room, but I think that Rian would just like scream just like blood curdling, like making his throat raw, and just kind of collapse.
As you all are standing there around Rianne in this horrible, horrible space, there's this feeling of ever-present watching the entire night. And you all know you still have to take your night's watches. You all have to get rest.
Okay.
Unless you all want to track through the night and not take a long rest, you still need to take your watches. And all of you are very, very much aware of the evil that is around you. These spirits that are harping on your fears and your past somehow. They are able to read your thoughts and use that against you. You sit amongst a dark forest around you, with the only light coming from the magical campfire. And you just want it to be over.
I legitimately think after that, after he sort of screams and then collapses, I think he would stand up, compose himself, and mouth, "We need to leave. Exhaustion be damned, we need to leave." And he'll start packing up his stuff, throwing it into the cart.
How much longer is the road? That's a dumb question. I hope you understand.
The road is about 5 days long, right? You guys are on your second day. You've made it to, well, it's around 5, maybe 4 days long. You guys are in a cart and a horse, so it's around 4 days. So you guys are in the middle point. It's going to take, at least Vay and Gideon would know from that previous history check that you made. It's hours for you to get out of this section. I mean, according to lore, 2 gods fought here, and you know, the area that they left cindered is massive. So you're looking at probably 5 or 6 more hours to get out of this section. So you're gonna have to ride into the morning.
Rianne, if these things can get us when we're like in the middle of the road, I don't know if us being on the cart is gonna help, because if one of us runs off into the woods and we're on the cart, then we have to stop the cart and jump out. Like, I think it would just be easier if we all wait. Like, if we waited till morning, we could all make sure that we're good and we're not distracted by traveling.
If these things can make me see what I saw, I don't want to stay here.
Brienne, we don't have a choice. You know that.
But what if, now that we've resisted it once, we can't be affected by it again for a duration? Wouldn't it be better to get out since we can't be affected again?
How many people would be able to fit into our cart, John?
Probably like sleeping.
Could be uncomfortable positions, but
I would think max 3, because 4 people can fit in the cart, like sitting. So once you're sprawled out, you know, some of you are almost 7 feet tall. So,
yeah.
Bazel's gonna step forward. Listen, maybe we can take shifts. I was going to take first shift anyway. Why don't we pack up what we can for those who are able to sleep a little bit in the cart, whoever's able to continue on for a little bit. We can start getting a move on, and then after some of you do sleep a little bit, then we can switch out and continue, just to make sure we get out of this section.
I don't think I'm going to be able to sleep in the cart.
Faye, Gideon, what do you think? Iris just like has a hand on Rand's shoulder, but looking at the other two for their opinions.
Vay would kind of look up, and he's like, I don't think we should travel. We'll be exhausted, and we know this goes on for a fairly long time, and if we slip up, if we aren't on our best footing, that's what they'll use. I have nothing to add other than that.
Thank you. Gideon?
It's a danger no matter what we do. That's just the basis of this area. We can stay and try to hold out. If we travel, all the horses get tied to the cart. No one rides them.
I think that if we traveled, I don't think any of us would be able to fully have a good night's sleep. But I think that if we stay here, then at least some of us might be able to, and it might help us for tomorrow. I'm okay with taking a little power nap, and then I can do 2 shifts at the watch. If it means that everyone else will be able to actually get some sleep. So
I
that
only need a
tomorrow we're
few
rested.
hours. I only need a few hours, so I can rest for a little bit and then stay up for most of the time.
Alright. I will also try to stay up as much as I can. Rand, I think you need to go to sleep. Don't.
I don't want Vay to be on watch by themselves.
They won't be.
No.
No one will be.
Nope.
Go to sleep.
I have the alarm set up around, so we'll be okay.
All right.
Bazel will go to sleep for a little bit too, just so that she can get her full night and then just be up for the rest of the time.
Okay.
I think Gak. Would it be possible for Gak to take a short rest during the first watch and then do the second 2 watches?
Yeah, I'll say you're not. If you take a short rest at the first one and do the next 2, I'll say you're not going to gain a point of exhaustion, but I will say you're not going to gain your. You're going to take the benefits of a short rest, but you're not going to regain your spell slots.
So hit points would go up, but not spell slots?
The hit points would go up based on hit dice that you would roll. Yeah.
Cool.
So the benefit here is you're not going to get a point of exhaustion, even though you're not going to be sleeping for 8 hours, or that whole thing.
Whatever the math.
I will say we are going to pick up next week with the watches, but you all have figured out this plan, at least for this night, if not the worst night of your lives. As you all are starting to go down for your night's watches, again, that ever-present force of eyes. Those, while you're taking watch, it's not hard to see at this point. The shadows in the forest have made themselves present. You can see these skeletal shadows with embers in their chest, eyes and mouth, staring at the party through the forest. The only silver lining is that you know they cannot step foot on this road. But they are getting very close. And it is very unsettling. And what the party thought would be a very leisure trip to the next town over has quickly turned into almost something of nightmares, at least on this night. As we start our watches next week, and we end tonight's session.
Ooh.
Oof.
Wow.
Womp.
God damn.
Thanks for watching, everybody. If you made
Yeah.
it up to this point.
Woo.
Good time.
Yeah. Oh, man. Well, thanks for watching. Be sure to tune in next time for the Tales of Evrand. Be sure to like, comment, and
If
subscribe.
you want to.
Your favorite sad boy moment from the session. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you next time.